Another cup of Maxwell House coffee, George?
Sure. Pour me a cup, Gracie.
You know, Maxwell House is always good to the last drop.
That drop's good, too.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With our special guest tonight, Mr. and Mrs. James Mason, yours truly, Toby Reed, Harry Lubin, the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie.
Well, as we join the Burnses today, Gracie is just giving George a bit of thrilling news.
George, I just found out the most exciting thing. Guess who moved from England and lives right here in Beverly Hills?
Who?
James Mason.
No.
Yes, and his wife, or as they say in England, his old fruit.
Remember Mason in the Seventh Veil? Wasn't he great?
Oh, wonderful. And just think, now he's our neighbor. We're almost close enough to hear his wife scream.
Well, why should his wife scream?
Well, it must hurt when he beats her with that cane.
Gracie, he only did that in the movie. In real life, James Mason is probably very kind and gentle.
Don't you dare say such mean things about him.
Mean things?
Kind and gentle. That's a fine way to talk about that magnificent monster.
I'm sorry I insulted him.
What a man. He's Humphrey Bogart with a broad A.
Sure.
You know, some girls dream of getting a husband who'll cover them with diamonds and mink. I'd rather have James Mason and be covered with Band-Aid.
You would?
Sure. Women love to be dominated. But in all the years we've been married, you've never struck me once. You're very selfish, George.
Yes, I'm a mess.
Well, please try to act rough and rugged when the Masons get here. I'm going to invite them over for a visit.
Gracie, you can't do that. They're reserved English people, and they won't accept an invitation from a stranger.
Oh, my goodness, I feel like I know Mr. Mason. I've been using his jaws for years.
That's a different Mason who makes Mason jars.
But my father belongs to his lodge.
That's the Masonic Lodge, and it has nothing to do with James Mason. And while you're at it, you can also forget the Mason and Dixon line.
That I knew.
Well, good.
I've never seen Dixon, but Mason doesn't need a line.
Wow, yeah.
With those piercing black eyes and that cane, all he has to do is give you a look and a clop.
Gracie, for the last time, Mason is not that type of man. He's very soft-spoken and gentle. As a matter of fact, his hobby is raising cats.
You mean pussycats?
No, Sam Cats, Balaban's partner. He owns the Chicago Theater. Remember? We had trouble with our laundry? Yes. Now, forget about inviting the Masons over. We have absolutely nothing in common with them.
No?
No. They're British and we're Americans. They're in the movies, we're in radio. Their hobby is raising cats. Ours is raising our hooper. I hope.
So, their hobby is raising cats.
Sure, they've written a book. The Cats in Our Lives.
I see. Well, goodbye, dear.
Where are you going?
Out.
Just a minute, young lady. If you don't tell me where you're going, you're not leaving this house.
Oh, George, how thrilling. You ordered me not to leave the house. If you keep it up, you'll be just like James Mason.
Yeah, I'll go get my cane.
Yeah. So, dear, practice while I'm gone.
I'll practice.
Goodbye.
Yes, goodbye.
George has no imagination. So we need something in common with the Masons. So we'll have it.
Yes?
Oh, hello. I'm your neighbor, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Burns? I'm Mr. Mason, and this is my wife, Pamela.
How do you do?
just dropped by to ask you if you've seen anything of a stray cat.
No, did you lose one?
Yes, my husband has a rare and valuable collection, and one of them disappeared.
Really? It so happens that Mrs. Mason has quite a collection of cats.
You don't say.
Yes. In our family, my wife is the fancier.
Oh, I don't know. You're pretty cute yourself.
I meant she's an expert on cats.
Oh, you mean like my husband?
Yes. How many do you have, Mrs. Burns?
Oh, only one. That's all the husbands they allow in this country.
I believe she was asking about cats, not husbands.
Well, we had 15 when I left the house. Of course, there may be more when I get back. Yeah, our mother cat is very popular.
Is she expecting a litter?
No, her boyfriends can't write.
James.
Quiet. Have your cats ever been in a show?
Oh, yes, they love Mickey Mouse. They like your pictures, too, Mr. Mason.
Pam?
What do you feed your cats?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Well, yes, they're too aristocratic to go looking for mice. And this way, the mice smell their breath and come looking for them.
James.
No, thank you, dear. I've had enough.
Mrs. Burns, we'd like very much to have a chat with your husband.
Oh, wonderful. Here's our address. Come right over.
Thank you. Now we can see for ourselves this wonderful collection of cats.
Oh, yes, the cats. Well, you better wait for about an hour or so. I don't think they're home right now.
I suppose your husband has taken them out for an airing.
Oh, I love that English accent. He doesn't take them out for an airing. They eat airing and halibut at home. We'll be expecting you.
Well, having told the Masons that her husband has a collection of cats, Gracie now has to produce them. So she has slipped a sardine into George's coat pocket and has talked him into walking through an alley with her.
Gracie, I don't get it. Why walk through an alley? We've got sidewalks.
Oh, but this is so quiet and romantic.
Only you could think an alley is romantic.
Rita Hayworth thinks so, too.
That's a different kind of an alley. And another thing. Oh, go away, Kitty. Go away. Go away. And another thing. I keep smelling fish.
Oh, well, that's just the wind blowing in from the Pacific Ocean.
It's blowing the opposite direction.
Oh? Oh, well, then it's the wind from the Atlantic Ocean.
That's the other side of New York. We're in Los Angeles.
I know. Think how it must smell in Kansas City.
And in Altoona, too. Another cat following me.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Those darling little kitties like you.
Kitties? These are Skid Row tomcats. Holy smoke. Coming at me from all directions. Shoot. Scat.
Oh, be careful, dear. You know, I think that black one could throw you.
Let's head for home, but fast. He's broken.
There's someone at the front door, George. Will you answer it?
I can't get up. There are 10 cats on my lap. They're swarming all over me.
Oh, all right. I'll go to the door. Oh, how do you do, Mr. and Mrs. Mason? Come right in.
Thank you, Mrs. Burns.
We're so anxious to meet your husband.
Oh, you'll love him, Mrs. Mason. He's the same type as your husband. Beats me all the time.
What?
Your husband beats you?
Oh, he's so British. Well, step right this way. He's frolicking with his cat.
Yes, I see him in the chair. He looks very distinguished with that long black mustache.
Oh, no, one of the cats has his tail in his face again. But that's my husband and his famous collection of rare cats.
Really? A bit moth-eaten, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the cats love him anyway.
I meant the cats.
Oh, well, come on and meet George. Darling, look who's here, Mr. and Mrs. James Mason.
What?
How do you do, Mr. Burns?
How do you do?
By Jove, Mr. Burns, I've never seen cats so devoted to a man.
Yes, look, James. They're trying to stick their heads into his coat pocket.
Well, they're so shy in front of strangers.
Shoo. Get off of me. Get off.
There seems to be a curious mixture of breeds. Pam, what would you say that grey one is?
Well, it could be part Maltese, but it's difficult to tell. It's shedding its fur.
Well, yes, it's part Maltese and part striptease. Well, Mr. Mason, how do you like the collection? The real cats, aren't they?
I'm trying to decide. Mr. Burns, your wife told us about your cat collection, but we never expected anything like this. You must have tamed these creatures with a chair and a whip.
Wait a minute. My wife told you I collected cats? Gracie, I want to speak to you in the next room.
Yes, dear. Excuse me, please.
Certainly.
Come on. Oh, stop. Stop hanging on to me. Get away. Get away.
Well, Pam, isn't that the oddest collection of cats you ever saw?
Yes, but they fit in nicely with the people.
Mrs. Burns is a bit eccentric, isn't she?
Quite.
Of course, you can't blame her. That cologne he uses would drive anyone nuts.
Yes. It must be called Evening on a Live Bait Boat.
Strange people, these Americans.
Well, George still doesn't know that Gracie slipped a sardine into his coat pocket so that his popularity with cats would impress the James Masons.
Quiet. Shoo. Get off of me. You back fence baritones.
No, George, please. The Mason's right in the next room.
Can't understand why these cats keep trying to stick their heads into my coat pocket. What the world could be in there that, Gracie, what is this you put in my pocket?
Just a cigar, dear.
Oh, yeah? Well, I've looked at a lot of cigars. But this is the first one that looked back at me. Here, look at it.
Oh, how cute. A cigar with a mouth. It can blow out its own smoke.
Gracie, this is a sardine.
Really? Well, here, I'll light it for you.
You expect me to smoke this?
Why not? My brother Willie works in the cannery. He smokes fish all day.
So that's why these cats followed me. You stuck this fish in my pocket.
Well, darling, I wanted to make a good impression on James Mason and his wife. They're crazy about cats.
Well, fine. They can have these as a present. Come on. Excuses for being so long, folks.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Mason, my husband has decided to give you his rare collection of cats.
What?
It's a gesture to welcome you to this country.
We should have stood in England.
That black one might be useful, James. You could hang your hat on its hip bone.
Yeah. Say, wait a minute. Look at that magnificent white person under the chair.
Oh, he's a splendid fellow. I didn't see him before.
I think he's been hiding from the others.
Mrs. Mason, if you like him, he's yours.
Oh, Mr. Burns, do you mean it?
Certainly.
Oh, I could just kiss you.
Well, you better not kiss my husband. If you do, I'll kiss your husband.
I didn't really mean it, Mrs. Burns.
No, come on, please kiss him.
I think you meant that.
Honey, we better be running along.
Yes, thank you again for this wonderful cat.
Well, tally ho, Mrs. Mason, or as you English say, goodbye.
I'll carry the cat outside for you.
Pam, I have an idea. Let's call the cat George in honor of our favorite American entertainer.
Oh, you shouldn't do that.
Why not? That George Jessel is a very clever chap.
Oh, yes, Jessel, one of Edward's boys, yes.
Goodbye, and thanks again.
Goodbye.
See, George, what were you three talking about out there?
Nothing, dear.
You know, Mrs. Mason certainly has a crush on you. I'm surprised she didn't take you home.
Oh, stop.
Oh, she started flirting with you the minute she walked into this house. I saw her give you the double wink.
The double wink?
Well, sure. She took one look at you and closed both eyes.
Yes, she adores me.
I just dropped by to tell you that you're in big trouble. One of the neighbors says you stole his white Persian tomcat.
Holy smoke. Followed me home, and I gave it to James Mason.
Well, then you better get it back. That's a valuable animal. That's the second most famous tomcat in town.
Second?
I'm the first.
Gosh, Bill, I'm ashamed to ask for that cat back. You do it for me.
Oh, okay. Gee, I never thought the day had come when I'd say I wanted George Burns' puss.
Come on, I'll drive you over there. I've just got to get that cat back.
Well, Pam, how are you getting on with the new cat?
Oh, famously, darling. I've bathed him and brushed him, and he's simply beautiful. Aren't you, George? See, he already responds to his new name.
Strange that Burns should have one thoroughbred among all those mongrels. You know, I'll wager it was Mrs. Burns who collected all those battered old veterans.
Why should she do that?
Well, having acquired Mr. Burns, she wanted a matched set.
Would you answer the door, darling? I want to go out in the garden and have a romp with George.
Very well, dear.
Come along, boy.
Hiya, Jimmy. How's the boy?
I beg your pardon, have we met?
Well, no, but surely you recognize me. I do picture work.
I'm sorry, we have none to be framed.
No, I act in pictures. I'm the darling of the American screen. Haven't you seen these dimples, these blonde curls?
Don't tell me you're Mary Pickford.
I'm Bill Goodwin. But enough about me. Mr. Burns sent me over to ask you if you'd return that white Persian cat.
But that was a gift to Mrs. Mason, and she's become extremely fond of it.
Well, I'm sure she'll listen to reason. You British are such fine, generous people. You've always been so gracious and understanding. Oh. That's the basis of the wonderful relationship between our two countries. That traditional British love of fair play and good sportsmanship.
By Jove, I like the way you talk, Mr. Goodwin.
And every word comes straight from my heart.
Let's continue this discussion over a cup of tea.
Fine. Well, as I was saying, you British... Ooh. Tea! Goodbye.
Bill, where's the cat? What did Mason say?
Oh, George, I'm too mad to talk about it. I'm going over to the golf course and cool off.
Okay. I'll talk to you over there. I'll meet you on the first tee.
Tea! Take that!
Oh.
Goodbye, you traitor.
I wonder why he slugged me. I'm his boss. I give him a salary. Why, every week I pay him. Maybe I better give him a raise.
Meanwhile, Gracie has learned that her husband was last seen at the Masons. Convinced that Mrs. Mason is trying to steal him, Gracie hurries over to get him back.
I'll get it, Pam. It may be that mad coffee merchant again. Oh, it's you, Mrs. Burns. Come in.
I've come to get George.
Oh, please don't. I've grown so fond of him.
Must you take him away?
Yes, I must.
Mrs. Burns, I appeal to you.
You certainly do, but I've come to get George.
Please let my wife keep him, Mrs. Burns.
You wouldn't object?
Not at all. If it makes Pam happy, I'll even let him sleep on the foot of our bed.
You English are broad-minded.
I'm sure James will be glad to pay you for him.
You want to buy him?
Yes, I'll give you $50. Why'd you hesitate, Mrs. Burns? Is he worth more?
No, the price is right, but I love him.
I don't blame you. He is adorable. He has such a shiny coat.
Well, if you think that's shiny, wait till you see his pants.
What a cute way to describe his little fuzzy legs.
You've seen those?
Certainly. When I gave him his bath.
You gave him a bath?
Yes.
Well, if he lets you do that, I've lost him. He's yours, Mrs. Mason.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, but be kind to him. Remember, he's getting old.
You'd never know it. He acts quite frisky around me.
Well, it's your first day together. He was frisky on our first day, too.
Any particular diet we should give him?
Oh, No. Just to help him to the table and put a napkin around his neck so he won't spill food on himself.
You think of him almost as a man, don't you?
Well, yes, and you must, too, no matter how people laugh.
Any other instructions?
Well, he's used to having a clean nightshirt every week.
He sleeps in a nightshirt?
Always.
Well, it's a sweet idea, but aren't they rather bunchy around the tails?
Not if you get them full. And, yes, always have plenty of cigars for him.
George smokes cigars?
A dozen a day.
He'd be a sensation in vaudeville.
No, you're wrong. He tried it. Well, I'll be going. Tell him goodbye for me.
Wouldn't you like to see him before you go? After his bath, he looks so cute and fluffy.
No, I'm going home. Just tell him he can stop by any time and pick up his golf clubs and toothbrush. Goodbye.
Did she say golf clubs and toothbrush?
Yes. Pam, we've really got ourselves a cat.
Oh, Gracie, I'm home.
Well, decided to come crawling home to me. Eh, Fluffy?
Fluffy?
My, aren't we nice and clean after our bath?
Fluffy?
I suppose you had a perfectly delightful afternoon. Enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, I did.
You did, eh? Well, I'm leaving.
Why is she mad at me? I'm her husband. Her partner. Every week I divide our salary. I give her... Maybe I'd better start splitting it even.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Toby Reed, Gail Gordon, Irene Tedrow, Dick Crenna, Mary Lee Robb, Dick Ryan, Harry Lubin, the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie.
George and Gracie returned from their summer vacation last evening, and we find them now having breakfast on their first morning at home. That is, George is having breakfast. Gracie is peering through the window with a pair of high-powered binoculars.
Gracie, what's the big idea?
Some new neighbors moved into the corner house while we were gone. I want to see what kind of people they are.
Put down the binoculars and eat your breakfast.
Oh, there seems to be 3 of them. One of them has a black mustache.
Gracie.
Oh, now I see. It's a man and a woman and a girl. The man is the one with the mustache.
I'll bet the woman and the girl are jealous.
The man and woman look to be about middle age, and the girl's about 18.
Well, sounds like a husband, wife, and daughter.
Yeah. Wonder which is which.
Well, this is just a wild guess, but I'd say that the man is the father, the woman is the mother, and the girl is the daughter.
Not necessarily. Middle-aged men sometimes marry young girls.
Yeah, but they don't have middle-aged children.
Oh, maybe they adopted one.
Nobody would adopt a middle-aged child.
Why not? It'd be better than a baby. At night when you walk the floor with it, you'd have someone to talk to.
Look, Gracie.
You've got to keep an open mind in these things, George. You just can't look at 3 neighbors and decide who they are. Maybe it's a man and his mother and a babysitter.
Yes. Or maybe it's a Secret Service agent, a singing teacher, and Margaret Truman.
Oh, do you really think so? Let's invite
When
them
we
over.
run a sociable, we will, Gracie. Yes.
Well, whoever they are, they're in a strange neighborhood, so let's be extra nice to them.
Okay. I'll turn on the charm.
Yeah, that's the idea. If you see the woman of the house, tell her how young and pretty she looks. Women like to hear that, you know.
I know.
Even women who aren't young and pretty like to hear it. I guess.
Well, don't worry. I'll spread it on.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what kind of people they'll turn out to be. I'd better have another look through the binoculars.
Gracie, for a solid hour you've been staring at those new neighbors. Shame on you, and give me those binoculars.
Yes, dear.
Man has got a mustache.
Daddy's not eating, Aunt Martha. Guessing Mrs. Mom's cooking. Is something wrong, Fred? You keep looking out the window.
I believe there's a neighbor staring at us through binoculars.
Binoculars?
Either he's looking through binoculars or he has very long eyeballs.
Let me see. Which house is it?
That one.
I thought no one lived there.
Well, they arrived last evening, apparently from a vacation.
Who are they, Fred?
I don't know, Martha. There are two of them. A rather elderly gentleman and his young daughter.
Oh, that's swell. Someone for me to pal around with. But how do you know she's his daughter?
She carried in the suitcases.
No sign of a wife?
Not that I could see.
Oh, Fred! I'll bet he's a widower. My horoscope definitely said I'd meet one today. Maybe at last we've moved into the right neighborhood.
I hope so, Martha. The only one in Los Angeles we haven't tried.
Yes, Daddy, we keep moving around trying to get Aunt Martha married, but what about me?
You're a child, Emily. Your Aunt Martha is a widow.
Oh, but gee, Daddy, Harold and I love each other. He sends me, and I send him.
Well, the next time you send him, ask him not to return.
But, Daddy, Harold...
We'll discuss it when your mother returns from her visit. Speaking of your sister's return, Martha, wouldn't she be surprised to find you romantically involved with our neighbor?
Oh, yes. Maybe even married and moved out.
You've been with us for 12 years. We'd miss you.
Oh, look, Aunt Martha. That widower just went out the front door and he's headed this way. What a golden opportunity to meet him. I'll just happen to be in the front yard as he passes by. Oh, isn't it exciting, Emily? You may have a new uncle. Oh, I think it's super, Aunt Martha, but death.
Here, Martha, take along some of these cookies you baked last night. They're delicious.
But, Daddy, if he's a widower, he's looking for romance.
At his age, he'll settle for cooking.
Ain't misbehaving all by myself. Ain't misbehaving, I'm happy on the show.
Good morning.
Oh. Good morning. You're the new neighbor.
Yes, I'm Mrs. Dayton.
I'm Mr. Burns.
Oh, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Burns.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, Mrs. Dayton. I'm indeed fortunate to live in the same neighborhood with such a charming and lovely woman.
Oh, have a cookie.
Well, thank you. I see you're quite domestic.
Yes. Oh, there's a tiny spot on your suit. Would you care to come in and let me take it off?
Huh?
The spot, that is.
Well, I have to get downtown right now, but I appreciate the offer. Believe me, it's a mighty lucky man who finds a wife like you.
Have a cookie. Come in. Hello. I'm Emily from down on the corner. Hello. I'm Gracie from right here. We're neighbors now, and we should get to know each other. Would you like to have a soda at the drugstore? My treat. Oh, I'd love to, Emily, but I can't leave the house now. We married women are so tied down. You're married? Yes. Jeepers, it must be wonderful to have a husband. I'm simply perishing to marry Harold. Oh? Is Harold nice? Is he nice? He's groovy. Then he's like George. He has lots of wrinkles, too. No, Gracie, he's solid. Oh, he's not like George. He's sort of flabby. You're still mixed up. Don't you speak English? Well, sure, let's try some. Well, I mean, Harold is the most wonderful, sensational man who ever lived. But my father won't let me marry him until he gets a raise. When will he get a raise? Never. He works for my father. Wow. That is bad. Dad owns a big department store, and he gave Harold a job. Well, what does he do? He follows the cleaning women around and wrings out their mops. Oh, Dad told him he should start at the bottom. Oh, your father's right. You can't wring out a mop from the top. Anyhow, it's a perfectly ghastly situation. Well, you and Harold should do what George and I did. We elope. Oh, an elopement would be awfully romantic. Mm-hmm. The most romantic thing in the world. My sister Bessie's been engaged for 30 years, but she refuses to marry our fiancé because he won't elope with her. Well, why won't he? Oh, he's a bricklayer, and the union won't let him climb a ladder after 5 o'clock. I'd adore to elope, Gracie, but Harold would be simply petrified. I could never talk him into it. Well, I could. You send him over here on his lunch hour, and I'll arrange everything. Oh, Gracie, you've given me new hope. I'll see that Harold gets here, but deaf. Deaf or not, I'll talk him into it. Oh, George, I'm so glad you're back. I have the most exciting news. You know the new neighbors in the corner house?
Yes?
Well, tonight we're going to help their daughter elope.
Gracie, shouldn't we let the people live here an hour before you start wrecking their lives?
But, George, I'm doing something nice. I'm helping their daughter get married.
Does she have parental consent?
Well, of course not. She's perfectly healthy.
Do her mother and father object?
No, they're glad she's healthy.
Do they object to the marriage?
Oh, that.
Oh, that, yes, that.
Yes. They don't approve of Harold.
Well, then we're not getting into trouble. I'm off to a great start with the mother. She likes me.
Well, if she likes you, maybe you can get her on our side.
You mean I should come right out and ask her if her daughter can elope?
Well, no, not that bluntly. Sort of hit around and find out how she feels about impulsive marriages.
All right, I'll do it. God. I feel like Cupid.
Well, you're much better dressed. Now run along.
Well, I see you out in the yard again, Mrs. Dayton.
Yes, I saw you coming. That is, I spend a great deal of time in the yard.
Mrs. Dayton, I realize we haven't known each other very long to talk about things like this, but, how do you feel about impulsive marriages?
Why, have a cookie.
Again with the cookies. Thank you. I'll just slip this one in my pocket. What I mean is, Mrs. Dayton, if two people are really in love, don't you think it's wrong for them to wait?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. As the poet said, true love knoweth not the shackles of time. It waiteth not that it pineth not.
Yes. Yes. How do you feel about elopement?
Elopement?
Another cookie. You don't happen to have a stove here in the yard.
What?
Nothing. Then an elopement is okay with you?
Oh, yes. That's the most romantic thing that can happen to a girl.
Yes, it seems to mean a lot to a woman. I elope with my wife.
Oh, yes, your wife. You have my deepest sympathy.
Well, you've heard about it.
Well, frankly, I drew my own conclusions. How long has she been gone up there?
Years and years.
My heart goes out to you.
Thanks. Well, I'll check back again about the elopement. Goodbye, Mrs. Dayton.
Au revoir, Mr. Burns. Martha, it happened at last. Just think you'll never have to bake another lousy cookie.
Well, George, did you speak to Emily's mother?
Yeah, the idea of elopement is okay with her. In fact, she couldn't have been any more eager if she was going to be married herself.
Well, wonderful. Now, all we have... Oh, that must be Harold. Come in.
Hello. Are you Gracie?
Yes, and you're Harold.
Yeah, that's right. I belong to Emily.
You're sweet. Shake hands with my husband.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
Hiya, Ouch! Oh, where'd you get that grip?
I wring out mops all day.
Oh, my hand is bone dry.
God, Gosh, I can't believe that you're a married man.
Why not?
You just don't look like you've been in paradise.
This may be murder.
We had Emily send you over because we want to help you. You really love her, don't you, Harold?
Oh, yes. Emily's always in my mind. Even when I wring out those mops in her father's store, the water that drips back into the pail seems to say, Emily. Emily.
It's a very poetic thought.
Well, it is. Did you ever have a thought like that about me?
Well, of course. I was in a walnut grove on a windy day. And every nut that fell on the ground seemed to say, Gracie.
That was beautiful.
It was very windy that day. Harold, why don't you marry Emily?
Her father won't let me marry her until I get a raise, and he won't give me a raise. He's mean.
Well, then elope with Emily tonight.
Elope? Sure, kid. Man as mean as a father deserves a son-in-law like you.
You're right. I'll do it.
Good. I'll write the elopement note to Emily.
Gracie, the note should be written in Harold's own hand.
Oh, all right. Stick out your hand, Harold.
In his handwriting.
Oh, well, I'll dictate it, Harold. Here's a pen and paper.
I'm ready.
My beloved darling, at midnight we elope. Have a light burning in your window. Until then, I adore you, I worship you, I love you madly.
Shall I sign it, a friend?
That's a little cold. Make it a close friend.
Don't be silly. Sign it to your lover, and then hurry and take it over to Emily.
Me? In broad daylight? Oh, her father will kill me.
Oh, all right. George will take it. Meet us here at 11:15 tonight.
Yes, ma'am. I'll go home and shave now.
Oh, you're going to shave, that sweet. So you look nice for the wedding.
No, that's not it. This is the day of the month I always shave.
So long, kid. Goodbye.
Well, George, haven't you taken the note to Emily yet?
Well, I thought I'd wait till it got a little darker. Her father's pretty big and rough, you know. Come in.
Well, hiya, Burnses. Welcome home.
Oh,
Good one. How are you?
Fine. Golly, it's been a long time. Let me look at you. Gracie, you look absolutely wonderful. And, George, I'm going to say the same thing to you.
Really, Bill?
Yeah, Gracie looks absolutely wonderful. Flatterer.
Bill, what did you do with yourself all summer?
Well, Gracie, a friend of mine invited me up to his hunting lodge, a quiet, secluded place, no nightlife, no parties, and not a woman within 100 miles.
How'd you like it?
Who went?
It figured.
Well, will you stay for dinner, Bill?
You see, I'd like to, Gracie, but I've got to run.
Bill, drop this note off at the brick house on the corner.
You're ordering me to?
Oh, no,
I won't do it. Who do you think you are, the President of the United States?
But, Bill, it's for a pretty young girl.
Give me the note, Harry. Gee, I hope this chick is as young and pretty as George said.
Yes?
Oh, hello. I have a note from Mr. Burns down the street, and I...
Oh, that's for me.
Well, but he said that you were young and pretty.
He did? Oh, he's bold, isn't he?
He's downright foolhardy.
Oh, I wonder what the note says. Let me have it quickly.
Well, I don't think I'd better. This note can't be for
Don't be
you.
embarrassed. You can come in and have a cup of coffee while I'm reading it, and then you can deliver my reply.
Well, but I tell you, you're not the... A cup of coffee?
Oh, yes. And if I do say so myself, I'll make the best cup of coffee in town.
This note is definitely for you, chick. Here.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I wonder what it says. Oh, thrill divine. Tonight at midnight, Mr. Burns is coming to get me. And together we will share life's most glorious adventure. Oh, excuse me, I must get ready.
They're going to share life's most glorious adventure? They better not let Gracie catch me together.
Well, there's Emily's house. It's just 2 minutes to 12. Grab the ladder and get going, kid.
If there's a light in that upstairs window, is that Emily's bedroom, Harold?
Gosh, I wouldn't know a thing like that.
Well, I guess it is. Hurry and run up the ladder.
I can't. My bones have turned to water.
Well, then trickle up the ladder.
I just can't. I'm too scared.
But this is Emily's elopement. Somebody's got to carry her down the ladder.
Well, there's only one of us that can do that.
Oh, all right. If I must, I must.
I meant me. You wait here. There. The ladder's at the window. Okay. We're ready. Hey, got down here in a hurry. Anxious to elope, huh?
I'll have a cookie.
Mrs. Dayton.
Oh, what a romantic moment you chose. Do you realize this is the witching hour?
I do now. Look, Mrs. Dayton, I know you sort of fell for me, but what about your husband?
He's dead.
Oh, you shouldn't have done it. No matter how desirable I am, you shouldn't have killed him.
Oh, I didn't kill him. He's been dead 12 years.
Hold on. Aren't you Emily's mother?
Oh, no, I'm her aunt. Oh, you must have known I was a widow when you asked me to elope.
You thought that I... Wait here. It's a terrible misunderstanding, Gracie. This widow thinks I'm going to elope and marry her.
Mr. Burns, come back. Martha's waiting.
Now the old man is there.
Well, George, I've got an idea.
What?
You go back and stall them. Harold and I will sneak around and get Emily and start for the Justice of the Peace.
Yeah.
And when you hear me honk the horn, you know we're on our way.
I see. You'll honk the horn. So you see, Martha and I can't get married tonight. We haven't got a license.
Oh, I've had one ready for 10 years. It's made out for Martha Dayton and to whom it may concern.
And as far as I'm concerned, you're to whom?
But I wouldn't make a good husband. I walk in my sleep and I snore and... Oh, well, now I can tell you the truth. I already have a wife.
What?
That's right. She's taking Harold and Emily to the Justice of the Peace right now. They're going to be married.
And you're going to jail.
What for?
My daughter is a minor. And if you help her get married without my consent, I'll send you up for 10 years.
Holy smoke. Wait here. Maybe I can catch them.
In sickness and in health till death do you part. Answer, I do.
He do.
And do you, Emily, take Harold for your lawful wedded husband to love?
Stop the wedding.
George!
Emily can't get married without permission.
Why not?
She's a minor.
You mean she has to ask John L. Lewis?
She's under 18. Go home, kids. There'll be no wedding tonight.
But, George, I've already given the Justice of the Peace $5.
Well, he'll give it back.
No, I will not. You got me out of a warm bed in the middle of the night to perform a wedding ceremony, which I am perfectly willing to do.
But there's nobody here who... George, take my hand.
Gracie, will you stop?
It'll be fun. Proceed, Mr. Justice.
You, George,
They'll
paid
be
this
married
woman,
for a while.
Gracie, for your lawful wedding.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Toby Reed, Gail Gordon, Irene Tedrow, Dick Crenna, Mary Lee Robb, Dick Ryan, Harry Lubin, the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie.
As we look in at the Burns home today, we find Gracie talking to her neighbor, Blanche Morton.
Oh, I'm so glad you came over, Blanche. Now I can invite you to the birthday party I'm giving for George tonight.
Wonderful. Will it be a surprise?
I'll say. It's not even his birthday.
Well, then why are you giving him a party?
Well, I never can surprise him on his birthday because he knows it's his birthday. And besides, just yesterday he said to me, he said, Gracie, I've been married to you for 15 years and nothing you do surprises me. This time I got him.
You sure have.
And surprises are so much fun, Blanche. For example, when your husband gives you a kiss for no reason at all, don't you enjoy it more?
No. That means I have to sober him up. What are you giving George for his birthday?
Well, I'm going down to Baker's gift shop and get him a whole lot of little things. And for an extra surprise, I'm going to have his initials engraved on his watch and his cigarette lighter and his fountain pen.
Well, can you take them without him knowing it?
They're already in my purse. I sat on his lap after breakfast and ran one hand through his hair and the other through his pocket.
Well, I never.
Well, you should try it sometime. It's fun.
Hello, dear.
Oh, George, you're home earlier than I expected.
Yes. Hello, Blanche.
Hello, George. Well, I'll be running along, Gracie. See you later.
Bye, Blanche.
Gracie, I'm worried.
Worried?
Yeah. When I got downtown, I discovered my watch and my fountain pen were missing.
Oh, well, stop worrying. Maybe somebody stole them.
Well, that eases my mind. I seem to remember having them in my pocket along with my cigarette lighter. It's still here in my No, my cigarette lighter is gone, too.
Trifles. What would you like for lunch?
You're taking this awfully calmly.
Well, that's a family trait. You see, I'm part Indian.
Your mother and father are both white.
Yeah, I know. I get the Indian blood from my brother.
That's impossible for white parents to have Indian children.
Trifles. What would you like for lunch?
I'm not hungry. I want my watch, my lighter, and my fountain pen.
For a man who's not hungry, that's a lot to eat.
Oh, stop. Well, maybe the stuff will show up. Meantime, I'll use your fountain pen. It's right here in your purse, isn't it?
George, don't touch that purse.
It's just to get your fountain pen. Well, here's my watch, and my fountain pen, and my cigarette lighter. How did they get in here?
How?
How?
Oh, you're an Indian, too.
Now, cut that out. I want to know how all my things got in your purse.
Oh, is that my purse? I thought I was putting them in your purse.
No. Mine is baby blue suede with a shoulder strap. Now, these things are going back in my pocket where they belong.
Oh, now I've upset you. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Here, relax in your easy chair, and I'll sit on your lap and run my hand through your hair.
Again?
Yeah, I like to.
Well, it is relaxing.
Well, sure. There, that's it. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah, it's good for me. But you don't get anything out of it.
You're cute.
I could sit here all day.
Well, not me. I've got things to do. Goodbye.
Gracie, what about...
See you later, dear.
What a woman. Well, I'm so comfortable, I might as well smoke a cigar. Hey, my lighter is gone again. And my fountain pen, too. And my watch. Wait till I get my hands on her.
Mr. Burns. Where are you going in all the hurry?
Oh, hello, Officer Craig. I'm looking for Gracie. Have you seen her on your beat?
No, but I saw her car parked in front of Baker's gift shop. How come me to notice it? She was parked very unusual.
What do you mean?
She wasn't in front of a fire plot.
I guess that is unusual for Gracie.
Yeah. It wouldn't be so bad, but she parks on the sidewalk side of the plug. Next time she does it, I'll have to give her a ticket.
Well, I'll go over to Baker's right now and speak to her.
Say, speaking of Baker's, Mrs. Baker says a kleptomaniac has been robbing their store.
Gee, that's tough. Well, I'll see you later.
Funny thing about them kleptomaniacs, they're nuts. They pass up valuable stuff and just take little knickknacks like cheap cigarette lighters and dollar fountain pens.
And you saw Gracie's car in front of Baker's?
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Burns, your face is turning kind of green. Is it something you ate?
No, it's something I married. I'll see you later.
Well, Mr. Baker, I guess I've picked out enough presents for my husband.
Well, what's the occasion, Mrs. Burns?
Well, I'm giving George a surprise birthday party tonight. These things are for him. Now, how much do they come to?
$13.50. With the tax, it'll be $13.80.
Well, I'll take it without the tax.
Well, let's just forget the tax, shall we?
Oh, good. Here's your money.
Mrs. Burns, why are you getting this little musical cup for your husband?
Oh, well, because when you tip it up to drink, it plays Three Blind Mice. See?
Oh, your husband will like that?
No, but I will. You know, I never see him at breakfast because he hides behind the newspaper. At least now when he drinks his coffee, I'll know where he's in.
You like your little joke, don't you?
Yeah, I love him. Now, give me his presents and I'll be going. Oh, George is going to love these birthday presents when I get them wrapped. Oh, my goodness. Here he comes up the walk. I better hide them here in the hall closet. Oh, that darn thing keeps falling over. There. Phew, I made it.
Gracie, I want to talk to you.
Oh, I haven't time now, dear. I have to shop for dinner. Goodbye.
Wait a minute, just a minute. What were you doing at Baker's gift shop today?
Who said I was there?
Officer Craig.
Well, I'm surprised you'd listen to an old fuddy-duddy like him. Well, he doesn't know his fuddy from his duddy. Goodbye, George.
Wait a minute, just a minute. Where are my watch, my fountain pen, and my lighter?
Did you look in the washing machine?
They're in the washing machine?
They are. What a silly place to keep them. Goodbye, dear.
Just a second. Honey, look, are you sure that you feel all right? I mean, are there bells ringing in your head or anything?
Oh, of course not. There's absolutely nothing in my head. Goodbye, dear.
Gosh, she shook the whole house. Well, holy smoke. I hear bells now. Maybe I'm the one that's nuts. It sounded like it's coming from the hall closet here. Better have a look. Oh, no. It's full of loot. She must have lifted everything in Baker's store. I've got to get this stuff back to Baker's without anyone finding out about it. Hello, Mr. Baker. Oh, it's you, Mrs. Baker.
Yeah, it's me. William's out to lunch.
I'm sorry, I mistook you for a man.
You didn't. You mistook me for my husband. Well, what can I tell you?
Well, nothing. I just came in to sort of look around.
I thought so. You never spent a dime in here in your life.
That's a fine way to talk to a customer.
Don't tell me how to treat a customer. The motto of this shop is courtesy. So be courteous or I'll throw you out.
Yeah,
Yes, Mrs. Baker.
Then why have you got that golf bag hung around your neck with no clubs in it? What'd you do? Bring your lunch?
Why, no,
Well, watch yourself. Don't break anything.
Okay, I'll just sort of browse around. There. Now, if I can just slip these other things back on the shelf. No, Mrs.
Let me look
Baker.
in that golf bag. Just as I thought, it's loaded. You work pretty fast for your age.
Look, Mrs.
Police!
Wait a minute.
Police!
Mrs.
I
Baker.
caught the kleptomaniac!
Mrs. Baker, you're hurting.
Police!
Let go. Let go. Let go. Mrs. Baker, please get off my chest. You're a very heavy woman.
Please kill, you kleptomaniac.
Oh, Mrs. Baker.
I'm back, Pet.
Mr. Baker, tell your wife to let me up.
Why, it's Mr. Burns.
Yes.
You might as well let him up, Imogene. He won't spend anything.
I'm not trying to get him to spend anything. He's the kleptomaniac who's been robbing us.
He is?
I caught him with a whole golf bag full of stuff. Call the police.
Wait a minute, Mr. Baker. I can't explain how I got that stuff, but I'm willing to pay for every bit of it.
Oh, well, I think that's fair enough, Imogene. Let's not have him arrested.
Oh, well, all right. His poor wife would just have to bail him out anyway.
Oh, thank you, Imogene. You've got his heart as big as a house.
Yeah, and that's the smallest part of her. Now, get off my chest, please.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Burns?
Yes?
This is Mrs. Baker.
Oh, yes. You're the man who runs the gift shop twice.
Yes. Mrs. Burns, I called to warn you about your husband.
Warn me?
Yes, he's a kleptomaniac.
Well, what do you care how he votes?
It has nothing to do with politics.
It hasn't?
No, kleptomania is stealing.
I thought you said it had nothing to do with politics.
What I'm trying to tell you, Mrs. Burns, is that I caught your husband taking things from my store. A kleptomaniac is a person who can't help stealing.
Why, George wouldn't do that.
Oh, no? You better watch him or he'll be stealing from you.
That's not true. And I'll thank you to keep a civil tongue in my telephone. Goodbye. The idea. Say my darling little Brooksy boy would steal. Oh, he's an angel. Oh, I'll get his presents out of the closet and wrap them for him. Oh, they're gone. Oh, and only George could have taken them. Oh, Mrs. Baker is right. George is a politician. I mean, a kleptomaniac. Oh, this is terrible. Oh.
Toby, I came to you because I need some help.
Well, what can I do, George?
Well, I understand that when you went to school, you studied psychology.
That's right. I went to a college that concentrates on education and doesn't bother with football. I went to USC.
Well, good. Do you know anything about what causes kleptomania?
Why, sure. I remember my psych prof explaining it. He said that kleptomania was caused by a feeling of insecurity, a feeling of not being loved.
Well, then it's my fault. I don't bring Gracie little things to show her I love her, so she goes out and takes them.
Gracie? She's a kleptomaniac?
Yeah, but I'm going to cure it right now. I'm going out and buy her dozens of presents. I'm coming home with my pockets bulging with stuff.
But, George, that'll cost a fortune.
What do I care for money at a time like this? It's Gracie's happiness. It's Gracie's future. It's Gracie's money.
Oh, thank goodness. Here comes George. I've been so worried about him. I hope the little maniac hasn't been out kleptoing.
Hello, darling. Home again.
Hello, dear. George, your pockets are bulging. What's in them?
Oh, just a few little things I picked up.
You picked up? Where?
Well, I got something from just about every store in town. This cologne was on sale at the May Company.
Oh, George, you shouldn't have done it.
Oh, don't be silly. It was a steal.
George.
You like it, I'll go back and get you some more.
No, you mustn't.
Well, why not?
Well, the car's out of gas.
So what? I'll take a bus.
Oh, no, you mustn't.
Well, what's wrong with that? I've taken lots of buses.
Well, it's got to stop. George, you wait here. I'm going to consult a psychiatrist.
Well, maybe that is the best thing for you to do, Gracie.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Hello, Officer Craig.
You're parked on the sidewalk again. I'll have to give you a ticket.
Well, that's nice of you, but I'm in a hurry. Give it to my husband.
But, Mrs. Burns, Oh, well. I got a commission on traffic tickets. He'd be a gold mine.
Yes? Oh. Hello, Officer Craig. What's up?
Mr. Burns, I hate to tell you, but this time your wife's gone too far.
You mean
She's broken the law, and I've got to do my duty.
Wait a minute. You don't want her. I'm the guilty one.
You?
Yes. I stole that stuff from Kramer's gift shop. I'm the kleptomaniac. Take me to jail.
Okay. Well, let's go, klepto.
Gracie, you mean George has been arrested?
Yes, Bill, he's a kleptomaniac. His case comes up in court tonight. Will you help him?
Well, of course I'll help him, Gracie. George is my oldest friend.
Really?
Well, sure, I got friends I've known longer, but George is the oldest.
Come on, Bill, we haven't a moment to lose. We've got to help George pound the coat.
Pound the coat?
Smack the jacket?
You mean beat the rap?
Yeah, that's it.
Order in the court. Next case. George Burns, Your Honor, charged with petty larceny. I'm the arresting officer.
How do you plead, Mr. Burns? Guilty, Your Honor. I'll make a full confession. I'm ready to sing.
Stop the music.
Who are these people?
Well, we're George Burns' wife and his best friend. I'm the wife.
I'm the friend? Your Honor, I can prove that Mr. Burns is not responsible for anything he did today and therefore is not guilty.
For what reason?
Temporary insanity.
Temporary insanity?
Yes.
Well, Bill, you did your best, but it looks like George is going to jail.
Yeah, poor guy. Think of what jail will do to him.
Oh, yes, I can just see him after a couple of years. A broken man, pale, feeble, shuffling along like a zombie.
You don't think jail will change him, huh?
This whole thing is my fault. George took those things because he loves me. It's up to me to save him.
Well, but Gracie, how can you...
Court is reconvened. Who is the next witness in the case of George Burns?
I am, Your Honor. George Burns is innocent. I'm the kleptomaniac.
That isn't true, Your Honor.
It all started before you met me, George. You see, Your Honor, I was raised in the toughest part of San Francisco, the Barbary Coast. And all the barbers were crazy about me.
Young lady, there hasn't been a Barbary Coast since 1906. It was hit by an earthquake.
That was me, Earthquake Allen. I lived there for years with the gamblers and thieves and gangsters and murderers. And then I fell into bad company.
Look, Gracie,
The police got on my trail, so I sailed for China. In less than a year, I was the most notorious woman in Shanglo.
That's Shanghai.
I lived in the low part of town.
I see.
Then I drifted on. For 5 5 years, I was a dancing girl in Singapore. For the next 5 years, I was a singing girl in Dancipore.
Judge, don't believe her.
Please, George. Then I returned to America, and my life got worse than ever. I did everything that was bad and horrible. I sank lower and lower and lower. Finally, I went into vaudeville.
Okay, that's enough. Your Honor, she's just trying to take the blame. I'm the kleptomaniac.
He is not, I am.
No, I am.
Order. Will Mr. Baker take the stand, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
It was your store that was robbed. Which one of these two do you want to prosecute?
Well, neither one.
But if you refuse to prosecute, I'll have to dismiss the case.
That suits me fine.
Order! Oh, darn it, where's my gavel?
Then I get off without a sentence, Judge?
How long have you been married to your wife?
15 years.
You've served your time. Case dismissed.
You were lucky to get out of that, Gracie.
Oh, yes. Now, let's hurry to a psychiatrist and get you cured of being a kleptomaniac.
Me? I'm not one. It's you.
Me? I'm not one.
Well, there's one loose. Who is it?
Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Burns. I just want to say I'm sorry you got dragged into court.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Baker, and thanks for saving us. I want to shake your hand.
Well, thank you.
Hey, that's the judge's gavel fell out from under your coat. And his water pitcher.
My goodness, I've been at it again. Goodbye, folks.
He's such a nice little man. 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 Now, where were we? Oh, yes. You were saying there's a kleptomaniac loose. I wonder who it is.
We'll never know. Gracie, it was swell of you to get up in court and me like you did.
Would you like to show your appreciation by buying me a new hat?
No.
Well, will you give me the money and let me buy it?
No.
Sit down, George, and let me run my hand through your hair.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Toby Reed, Gail Gordon, Irene Tedrow, Dick Crenna, Mary Lee Robb, Dick Ryan, Harry Lubin, the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie.
Well, it's breakfast time in the Burns home, and the ham is just coming in from the kitchen. His wife is already at the table. Good morning, Gracie.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast is all ready.
Good. Did you notice the new couple who moved in next door?
I'll say. He was out in the yard taking a sun bath this morning.
Yeah. Don't blame you for looking. Guy's got the sort of a figure that women like.
Not me. I'd much rather have your figure.
You would?
Well, sure. If I had his figure, I'd look like a man.
I hadn't thought of that.
George, you know they're newlyweds. Oh, there's someone at the door. I'll see who it is, dear.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns. Here's your mail.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Postman. My husband and I have been talking about the new couple next door. They just got married yesterday.
Oh, a fate worse than death.
Oh, Mr. Postman, all marriages aren't like yours. You're not happy because you're henpecked.
Not henpecked, Mrs. Burns. I'm buzzard battered.
Mr. Postman, if your wife is such a mean woman, why did you marry her?
I didn't know I was getting married. She told me it was a civil service examination. And it's too late to leave her now. We have 2 children.
2 children?
Yes, Herbert and Chevrolet.
Chevrolet?
Yes, what we really wanted was a new car.
Well, just the same, I'm sure those newlyweds next door will be very happy. Oh, look, you can see them through the window, just sitting down to breakfast. Oh, isn't that romantic? He's holding her chair.
Yes.
Do you hold your wife's chair, Mr. Postman?
Oh, always. If I let go, she beats my brains out with it.
Look. Look, now he's kissing her hand. Oh, I wish George were like that.
Doesn't Mr. Burns ever kiss your hand before breakfast?
Are you kidding? With his appetite, I wouldn't touch my hand near as much.
Oh, look, now he's buttering her toast.
Oh, yes. And now he's holding it while she nibbles at it. Isn't that sweet?
Yes. I wish Bertha and I could be that chummy.
Well, maybe you and your wife should do more things together. Share the same interests.
We used to dig in the garden together, but I got worried and made her stop.
Why, Mr. Postman?
She dug a hole just about my size. Well, goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
Well, did you see how I handled him, Virginia? Oh, he seemed a little confused. Oh, well, he's been that way ever since he married me. And now, Virginia, I'm going to show you the most important thing of all. How to get money from your husband.
But, Mrs. Burns, don't husbands give their wives money without being asked?
You're cute. Now, Virginia, let's say that I want $25 for a new hat, which I do. There's one method that never fails. Flattery. Every man loves to be flattered. Just watch this.
Oh, it's you again. What's wrong with you today? You're acting sort of crazy.
Oh, yes, and it's all your fault. You drive women crazy. Crazy with love. You heartbreaker, you.
Well, here we go again.
What woman can call her soul her own after she's looked into your soft beige eyes?
Gracie.
It's like looking into 2 pools of nylon.
Look, Gracie.
Oh, you're so incredibly handsome, George. Oh, if I were only a sculptor. Let the others make statues of Apollo and Mercury and Hercules. You're the man I want to chisel.
Look, Gracie.
Oh, George. Why did Mother Nature have to blow her top on you?
I don't know.
But let's face it, dear. I didn't marry just an ordinary mate.
Believe me, we're in the same boat.
Oh, the strange and tender things that remind me of you. The sight of your tousled hair in the morning. Your strong white feet at eventide. Your girdle hanging on the line.
Yes, tender, yes.
The kindness that shines from your eyes. The warm, generous smile that lights your face when I ask you for $25.
Gracie.
The blur of your hand as it leaps to your billfold. The sudden whoosh of air rushing in as you open it. The soft crinkle of 2 10s and a 5 as you press them into my palm.
Those are the things you like about me.
Yes.
The blur of my hand as I whip out my billfold. Like this.
That's it.
The whoosh of air as I open it. Like this.
Oh, I love that.
The crinkle of 2 10s and a 5. Like these.
Oh, yes, dear. These little things remind me of you.
I'm going to give you another tender little memory to tuck away in your heart.
What, dear?
The merry sound of my laughter as I shove it all back in my pocket.
Oh, but George...
I'm ashamed of you. Downright ashamed. You say you love me. And yet you deliberately flatter me and lie to me to get money.
Oh, I'm ashamed of myself, George. It was as low as stinky things to do.
You shouldn't lower yourself for such measly amount of money.
You're right, dear. I'll go out and come back again and try for 50.
Oh, what?
Oh, come right in. You're the little newlywed from next door, aren't you?
Yes, Mrs. Burns. I'm Virginia Jackson.
Oh, yes. You know, I've been wanting to have a little talk with you. You see, there are certain things that every young girl should know, and I happen to be one young girl who knows them.
I see.
Now, sit down, Virginia. I suppose your mother told you how the bees carry pollen from flower to flower on their feet?
Yes, she did.
Well, I'd advise you to forget that. I tried it, and believe me, it's nothing.
Well, really, Mrs. Burns, I'm sure Jim and I will never quarrel or anything. He's so sweet and handsome, especially in his uniform. You see, he was a captain in the Army.
Oh? Well, George did his bit, too.
Oh, really? What was his rank?
Air Raid Warden, Junior grade.
Oh.
George was wounded, but he didn't get the Purple Heart. He sat on his flashlight.
But Jim was lucky. He was overseas for 4 years and didn't get a scratch.
Overseas for 4 years. And how long have you been married?
2 days.
Oh, you do have a problem.
I do?
Oh, yes. If he's been gone for 4 years, it's going to take a lot to reawaken his interest in women.
I really don't seem to be having any trouble.
Better safe than sorry, Virginia. Now, I can tell you how to keep your husband happy from now on. First, remember that a wife must be all things to her husband.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, when he wants a pal, be a pal. When he wants a fascinating siren, be one.
Oh, I wouldn't know how.
Oh, it's easy. Now, George is in the den. You listen, and I'll show you how to be fascinating.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hello, you great, big, strong, wonderful you.
Huh?
How's about a kiss for your ever-loving mama, kiddo?
Kiddo?
That fascinates you, don't I?
What is this anyway? What's going on here?
Kiss me, kiddo.
Gracie, is there something wrong with you?
Haven't had any complaints yet, kiddo.
Look.
You know I'm fascinating. Come on, let's fast.
Gracie, would you like a doctor?
One at a time, kiddo. I'm not through with you yet.
Stop. This has gone far enough.
Seems to me we haven't even started.
Gracie.
Kiss.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh, I wish George would act like a newlywed and hold my chair and butter my toast. Maybe he will if I give him a chance. Dearest.
What?
I'm about to sit down to breakfast.
Well?
Well, would you hold my chair for me?
What for? You can't miss it. Sit down.
Yes, dear. George?
Now what?
Butter my toast for me.
Butter it yourself. You got a broken arm?
Hold it up and I'll nibble on it.
Are you nuts?
No, it's fun if the husband holds the toast and the wife nibbles at it.
What do we do with the next piece? Throw it in the bathtub and bob for it?
George Burns, you've got no romance in your soul. You haven't even kissed me this morning.
Okay. There. Now let's eat.
Oh, no, not like that. Kiss me like you used to.
That's exactly the way I kissed you on our wedding night.
You kissed me like that when I was a blushing bride?
Sure.
Wonder what I was blushing about.
Oh, I've had enough of this. I'll see you later. So that's why I came to see you, Bill. Ever since those newlyweds moved in next door, she's been very lovey-dovey.
Oh, well, of course, George. That's it. She wants you to act like a newlywed.
Me?
Well, sure. Leap in the door, pick her up in your arms, and scorch her with burning kisses.
Want me to do that?
Well, in your case, limp in and shake hands.
Okay, comedian, if you don't want to help me.
I am trying to help you, George. Now, why don't you make with the lovey-dovey stuff? You know, that gooey talk.
I'm not good at that. Well, still, you've given me an idea. I like so lovey-dovey that you'll get sick of it.
That might work.
I'll talk real mushy. That ought to make me repulsive, huh?
Well, with the start you've got, how can it miss?
So long, comedian.
Good luck, newlywed.
Why, George, back so soon?
Yes. Great big daddykins hurried home to smother his mamakins with kisses.
Oh, George.
We'll kiss all night and all day tomorrow and all the...
Tomorrow I have a beauty shop appointment to get my eyebrows plucked.
Daddykins will singe him off with burning kisses. Isn't Grad?
No, isn't.
But Daddykins is making like a newlywed.
Well, I liked you better the way you were before.
Okay, Gracie.
Well, that's better. Now let's go out to dinner the way we planned.
Good.
Get my coat, will you?
Get it yourself, you cripple. Yes, Gracie?
George, they're going to put on a big musical program in the Hollywood Bowl tomorrow night.
That's nice.
I've always wanted you to sing there, darling.
The birds are sweetly singing and perfume flowers are bringing and the wind is blowing as it's passing by.
Now I'll do all my singing in the bathroom. My voice belongs in the tub.
You're wrong, George. Your voice belongs in the bowl.
Yes.
Well, thousands of women would jam Hollywood Bowl to listen to you.
Women like my voice, huh?
Oh, yes. Ordinary crooners make their bobby socks quiver, but you shake women in their foundations.
Honey, Hollywood Bowl is for those classical singers, like Nelson Eddy.
Oh, you're much more convincing than Nelson Eddy. Why, when you sing shortening bread, you can actually smell it.
Thanks.
Bill Goodwin is going to be the master of ceremonies at the bowl, and I've invited him over here to hear you sing. So take off your clothes and jump into the bathtub, dear. I've already filled it with water.
I don't need a bath.
Oh, I know, but you sing better there. Bill will think you're Frank Sinatra.
I sound like Sinatra in the bathtub, huh?
No, but you look like him. You sound much better.
Oh, honey.
Well, you do. Anyhow, Frank Sinatra wouldn't dare sing in the bathtub.
Why not?
Suppose the stopper came out.
Hasn't thought of that.
Oh, really, George, you're too modest. You're the greatest singer who ever lived.
Oh, no. Not greater than Al Jolson.
Oh, pooh. You're greater than Al Jolson and Frank Sinatra put together.
Oh, Gracie.
Well, what would you have if you put them together? Just a man down on his knees without the strength to get up again.
You really think I'm that good, huh?
Oh, you're the top. Sing some off me right now. Open the furnace of your throat and scorch me with a hot lick.
I love you, I do. You're the only girl that I adore. Oh, babe.
Oh, you dynamite sugar throat.
Is that hot enough for you?
Oh, it's just like sitting behind the exhaust of a Greyhound bus.
How soon will Bill be here to listen to me?
Oh, any minute now. So hurry up and jump in that tub full of water.
But, honey...
Oh, here comes Bill. Now, don't argue any longer.
Well, okay.
You'll see. Bill will be enchanted when he hears those glorious notes come pouring out of the bathroom.
I'll hurry. Hi, Gracie. Why'd you call me over?
Oh, well, you'll see in just a minute, Bill.
Well, I haven't got much time to wait, Gracie.
Heard the sweetie singing, yes, a few flowers are bringing in the winter's going up to something
There, Bill. Did you hear that?
Gosh, where's it coming from?
From the bathroom.
Okay, get me a plunger and I'll fix it.
Oh, Bill. You know, George, I've just been sitting here looking at you. You ought to be in pictures.
Oh, Gracie, I'm no movie star.
But you could be, dear. You're loaded with sex appeal.
Don't be silly. Movies are for guys like Gregory Peck.
Oh, pooh. How can you compare a Peck to a man who has it by the bushel?
Forget it. I'm not for pictures.
You are, too. You've got everything any leading man on the screen has. Now prove it to you. Just name one.
All right. Charles Boyer.
Charles Boyer. What's he got?
What's he got?
Yeah.
How about those eyes?
You've got just as many.
It's not how many, it's what you do with them. For example, Boyer has a way of dropping his eyes.
Well, you can drop yours. You even have little built-in hammocks for them to drop into.
Look, Gracie, granted I might have a certain amount of charm, but could I handle the acting for a picture role?
I knew you were going to say that, and I'm ready for you.
What do you mean?
Well, I have a little scene here that I wrote just for you. You run the entire gamut of emotions in it.
Oh, Gracie,
Oh, what's the matter? Afraid to find out how good you are, huh?
No. All right. Give me the part.
Here. Now, you play a soldier who has just come back from the wars. You have a beard and a bandage around your head, and your eyes are all bloodshot. They'd look gorgeous in Technicolor.
Yeah, I can say it all now.
Mm-hmm. All right, now, I speak first. And give it everything you've got, George.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my darling, you're home. Home at last. After all these months of waiting, hoping, praying. Tell me, darling, quickly, are you all right? Are you all right?
Yes.
Oh, you've been shot. Yes, I can see it. You're wounded. Oh, my poor dearest. Where did they get you? Where?
Here.
It doesn't matter. I'll nurse you back to health. You'll be well and sound again, my love. You shall have every care. I'll never leave your side for a minute. You'll never be alone again. Never, never, never.
Gee.
Oh, darling, seeing you again is so wonderful. I'm afraid I'm going to cry. Oh, well, I mustn't cry. Laugh, that's what I should do. Oh, you see, George, you're dynamite.
Yes, I'm dynamite.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Toby Reed, Bea Benaderet, Dora Singleton, Dawn Bender, Tommy Bernard, Harry Lubin, the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie.
Well, today is quite a special occasion in the Burns home. It's George and Gracie's 15th wedding anniversary. And just to make sure that George doesn't forget it, Gracie begins dropping hints the minute he comes down to breakfast.
Good morning, Gracie.
Good morning, dear. Oh, how we danced on the night we were wed.
You seem happy this morning.
Well, I'm always happy on special occasions like birthdays and holidays.
Say, that's right. Today is a special occasion.
Oh, you remember?
Of course. Happy Armistice Day.
Is this Armistice Day?
Yeah, this is the day the Kaiser surrendered Germany.
Oh, George.
Yeah.
This is the day my mother surrendered something, too.
She let the cops take your old man, huh?
That wasn't what I meant. Oh, how we danced on the night we were wed. Da, 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 da. If that song reminds you of anything, stop the music.
Okay.
Oh, how we danced on the night we were wed.
Stop the music.
Yes?
It reminds me of Al Jolson.
George, let's play a little game. I want to see if you can guess a certain number.
Okay.
Now, it's fun, George. I used to play with my brother Willie. Now, add the number of Willie's fingers to the number of toes he has in one foot, and what do you get?
16.
Oh, that's silly. He's got 10 fingers, and you do get 16, too. Well, subtract his head, and what do you get?
14.
No. Let's go back to stop the music.
Hey, look, Gracie, it's a little early in the morning for music and games. Besides, I have to hurry to the bank. Now, how about some breakfast?
Yes, dear. I have it already.
Good. I could eat a horse.
Oh, I wish you'd spoken sooner. I fried bacon.
I'll settle for bacon.
All right, here it is. Notice the way I have it arranged on your plate?
Yes, it's twisted around to form the number 15.
Mm-hmm. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, you fried it too limp. After this, fry it crisp and make it an 11.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yes.
Or 111. 3 pieces.
Or 2 1.
Yes.
Speaking of food, George, remember that cook we had named Annie O'Toole? The one who was always making up verses?
Yeah.
Her name should have been Anniversary.
Anniversary?
No.
This is too much. I'll see you later.
George, do you mean to say you knew all along it was your wedding anniversary?
Oh, sure, Toby.
And you deliberately ignored Gracie's hints?
I had to. I want to surprise her. That's why I'm here at the bank. I'm going to draw out $100 and spend it all on Gracie.
You better draw out $100 and 10 cents.
What's the 10 cents for?
Smelling salts to revive her.
I say you're studying to be another Bill Goodwin.
George, what are you going to buy for Gracie?
Oh, something real fancy, Toby, like one of those black lace, whatchamacallits. And then, as an extra treat, I'll take her to Ciro's and...
Excuse me, George, you're next at the teller's window.
Oh, yes. I'd like to draw $100 out of my savings account, please.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to see some identification?
Oh, that won't be necessary. I know you're George Burns.
Oh, well, I'm drawing out $100 to spend on my wife.
You are?
Yes.
I'd better see some identification.
I admit that this is pretty unusual, but today is our 15th wedding anniversary, and so I'm going to splurge and get us some fancy, understuff.
Oh, lingerie.
Yes, some of those real expensive step-ins, teddy bears, or a chemise.
Oh, Mr. Burns, women haven't worn those for years. They went out with the Charleston.
The Charleston is out? Gee, what'll I do at Ciro's tonight?
Well, you'd better take some woman with you when you buy your wife's present.
I guess that would be a good idea. You seem to know what's right. I don't suppose...
Oh, I'd be glad to help you, Mr. Burns. I'm off for lunch in 10 minutes.
Oh, swell. And I wonder if you'd be kind enough to keep the package until this evening. In that way, I can really surprise her.
Why, certainly. Where shall we meet?
In Vanderlip's department store at the lingerie counter. And please, don't feel embarrassed about this. After all, I probably look like your father.
Why, Mr. Burns, don't let me hear you say that.
No?
No, and don't let my father hear you say it either.
See you in 10 minutes.
Come in. Oh, hello, Mrs. Vanderlip.
Hello, Mrs. Burns.
I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Really? What is it?
My husband just telephoned me. He's the proprietor of Vanderlip's department store.
Well, that's not such bad news.
No, I haven't come to it yet. It's my husband's habit to wander through the various departments, observing the customers. Well, prepare yourself for a shock.
All right.
About 10 minutes ago, he happened to be walking about in ladies' lingerie.
Oh, that is shocking.
Oh, no, please let me finish. He observed your husband in ladies' lingerie.
George, too? Why, that silly man, he'll freeze.
Your husband was not wearing the lingerie. He was holding it up, looking at it.
Oh, my goodness. He will freeze.
Mrs. Burns, please let me get to the point. Your husband was fully clothed. He purchased the lingerie for a very young, very attractive, very seductive young lady.
Oh, I hope he knows my size.
Not you, my dear. The young lady who was with him.
You mean George was buying lingerie for another woman?
Precisely.
Oh, that beast. And on our anniversary, too.
Oh, this is your anniversary? Which one?
Our 15th.
Well, no wonder your husband is commencing to stray. He has reached the dangerous age.
The dangerous age? What's that?
Well, after a man has been married 15 years, he begins to hunger for things not found at home. The grass begins to look greener in other fields.
But George never eats grass.
No, you still don't understand. There is another woman in your husband's life. She forms the well-known triangle.
And with a shape like that, he likes her?
Mrs. Burns.
Oh, I can't believe George would do a thing like that. Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Vanderlip. Hello? Yes. Who? Tell Mr. Burns what? Okay, I'll tell him. Well, you were right. George has a date tonight with that three-cornered woman.
He has?
Yes. That was the head waiter at Ciro's. He said tell Mr. Burns his table for two had been reserved and his champagne would be ready.
And he never does that for you?
Oh, I'll say he doesn't. For her, champagne at Ciro's. For me, root beer at Rexall's. One glass with 2 straws. And he pinches mine shut. Oh, how can George do this to me? I've been a good wife. The meals are cooked, the clothes are washed, the floors are scrubbed, and I always compliment him when he gets through.
Yes. Well, Oh, here's your philandering husband now.
Really?
Yes. The old rake is on the front porch.
Oh, I hope he trips over it.
I'll slip out the back way. Good luck.
Hello, Gracie. What's new?
That lingerie you bought at Vanderlip's department store?
You know about it?
Yes, and that table for two at Ciro's tonight.
Oh, darn it. I didn't want you to find out.
Oh, George, why are you doing it?
Well, it's time to have a little fling. I haven't done anything like this for 15 years.
What do you plan to do after you leave Ciro's tonight?
Oh, I thought we'd drive through the park and neck.
Oh, George, you couldn't.
You'd be surprised.
Well, what will you do after that?
Oh, we'll come back here and snuggle under the van in front of the fire. You can rub my back.
Won't it be a little crowded?
Ah, it's a big divan.
Oh, tell me, George, will this be the last fling?
No, I thought we'd do it again Christmas.
Oh, I can't listen to any more. Goodbye, George.
Poor kid. She's so happy she's crying.
He breaks brazenly admitted the whole thing, Mrs. Vanderlip.
Oh, you poor dear child. What will you do?
Well, I'll make George feel sorry for me so he'll give up the other woman and come back to me.
That might work.
Oh, sure. I'll take a gun and blow my brains out. Then we'll make up.
But, Mrs. Burns, you can't live without... Yes, I guess you can. However, I advise against such drastic measures.
Oh, but I've got to do something. Mrs. Vanderlip, what did you do when your husband reached the dangerous age?
Well, I didn't have this problem. You see, by the time we reached our 15th anniversary, we had a 12-year-old child. A child usually keeps the husband from straying.
You mean if we had a 12-year-old child, George would stay home?
Very likely.
Oh, but then we'll have one. I'll say to George that 12 years ago we had a child, and I forgot to tell him. Then I'll hire a child actor to play the part.
Mrs. Burns, your plan is implausible, impractical, completely devoid of credibility, and can lead only to catastrophe.
Well, sure, it'll work like a charm. See you later. Come in.
How do you do? Are you Mrs. George Burns?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you must be the children I ordered from Mrs. Dingle's School of the Drama.
That's right. I'm Arthur Bradley.
And I'm Marilyn March. Well, I hope you can handle the job I want you for. It'll take some very good acting.
We'll do our best, Mrs. Burns. We're both studying hard to be thespians.
Oh, well, now that's a smart idea. If you can't be actors, you've got another trade to fall back on. But actors are thespians. Oh, really? It's a small world, isn't it?
What's the job that we're supposed to do?
Oh, I want you to be my husband's children.
You want me to be his son?
And me his daughter? Yes. The other way around might not be convincing. You see, I hired both of you because I don't know whether my husband would prefer a son or a daughter. So one of you will hide in the closet and one in the den.
And whichever door he opens, that one steps out.
That's right. Step out and say, "Hello, Daddy." Say it clearly and distinctly. Oh, don't worry. We have trained voices. Listen to this. How now, brown cow? I think "Hello, Daddy" would make a better...
Well, this is a very unusual job, Mrs. Burns. Would you mind telling us why you want us to do it?
Oh, well, you're too young to understand. I'm trying to hold our home together because my husband has reached the dangerous age.
Oh, you mean he's at the stage of masculine development when the urge for emotional stimulus overbalances normal discretion.
Oh, I knew you were too young to understand. So, just be his children and don't ask questions. Gee, will he believe that I'm his daughter? I probably don't look a bit like him. Well, I don't look like him either, and he believes that I'm his wife.
Marilyn's right, Mrs. Burns. It won't be easy to fool your husband. Maybe we better not try.
Oh, you can do it. You see, he's not as smart as I am.
In that case, we'll try it.
Good. Mrs. Burns, how long do you expect us to carry on this deception? Oh, not long. As soon as George is convinced that he's your father, you can leave. What if he won't let us go? Well, he can't stop you. He's not your father. You mean he just disappeared? Well, sure. By the time he gets through looking for you, he'll be past the dangerous age. Very well, Mrs. Burns. Now, let's have a rehearsal. Now, what do you say when you see him, Arthur?
Hello, Daddy.
And you, Marilyn? Hello, Daddy. Oh, my, what wonderful actors. You've already learned your lines.
Oh, it's nothing that Gary Cooper couldn't have done.
Well, now you children make yourselves comfortable until we see my husband coming. I'll go make a pot of coffee. That always puts him in a good humor.
Oh, Mrs. Burns, just one question. When your husband asks us where we've been for 12 years, what'll we say?
I think that would be a good place for "How Now, Brown Cow." Mrs. Burns, here comes your husband up the wall. Oh, all right. Quickly, into the den, Marilyn. Yeah, and you, Arthur, here in this closet.
Okay.
Oh, I hope being a father will keep George at home. Hello, darling. Where have you been?
The cigar store.
Oh, I'm glad you got some cigars. They'll come in handy. Now, sit down and drink this nice hot cup of Maxwell House coffee while I tell you something.
Okay. What is it?
You're a father.
What?
You're a father. Well, don't just sit there. Offer me a cigar.
Gracie, are you trying to tell me that we have a baby?
Oh, of course not.
Oh.
We have a 12-year-old child.
A 12-year-old child?
Yes. Remember 12 years ago when you went on a vaudeville tour and I couldn't go because I had the flu?
Yeah.
Well, since I was in bed anyhow, I decided to have a baby.
Now, wait a minute. If we had a child 12 years ago, why didn't you tell me?
I just did.
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
Oh, I forgot about it. You know how little things can slip a woman's mind.
You call that a little thing?
It was when it was born.
Now, Gracie...
Yeah, there's someone at the front door.
I'll get it. I need a breath of fresh air.
Hi, George.
Hello, Bill.
But, George, you're white as a sheet. And you're trembling and glassy-eyed. Gee, you look like a zombie. I hardly recognized you.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great improvement.
Bill, I've just been through a terrific emotional experience.
What's that?
Well, I was sitting down drinking a cup of coffee when suddenly Gracie told me we had a child. Can you imagine the sensation I felt?
Oh, well, sure.
All right, forget the child. It can't be true anyway. Gracie said she had a baby 12 years ago and didn't tell me about it.
Well, that's possible.
Bill, to do a thing like that, a woman would have to be as crazy as... Yeah, I see what you mean.
Sure. I just think, George, you'll be able to see that little child take its first step. Speak its first words.
At 12?
Like father, like son. By the way, is it a son or a daughter?
Gracie didn't say.
Well, come on, let's ask her.
Oh, Bill, the whole thing is fantastic. Even Gracie couldn't
Hi,
do it.
Gracie.
Oh, hello, Bill.
George tells me he's the father of a 12-year-old child. Is it a boy or girl?
Which would you like, George?
I have a choice?
Well, which would you have preferred 12 years ago?
A boy.
In that case, open the closet.
Our son is in the closet? What's he doing in there?
He's being punished for running away 12 years ago. That's why you've never seen him. He joined the army.
That's impossible. He was a tiny infant.
Sure, he joined the infantry.
Infantry, I
Now, open the closet and meet your son.
You open the closet, Bill. I haven't got the strength.
Okay, George.
Hello, Daddy.
Not me, kid.
Oh, no. This man is your daddy.
Oh, pardon me. Hello, Daddy.
Hey, wait a minute. I've seen this kid in pictures.
You have? Well, isn't that wonderful? He can support you when you're too old and feeble to work.
Yeah, hand him your paycheck, kid.
Now, Bill, get out of here and take Junior with you. You can't be my son. He's an actor.
Well, maybe he takes after Gracie.
Goodbye, comedian.
So long, Daddy. Come on, kid.
Gracie, why do you do these things to me?
I did it to save our home, that's why. To keep you from buying lingerie for that other woman.
What?
Oh, you can get things for her, but not for your wife. Last week, I saw a pair of shoes I wanted, and you told me not to buy them.
But, Gracie...
For 2 cents, I'd take them out of my closet and throw them at you.
Honey, if you're talking about the girl at the bank, she helped me pick out the lingerie as an anniversary surprise for you. I thought you knew all about that.
Oh, a likely story.
Well, I'll call her over and have her explain.
I won't listen to her. Anything that hussy says will go in one ear and out the other. I might as well have a hole in my head.
Might as well, she says. I'll call her anyhow.
Of course it's true, Mrs. Burns. Here's the lingerie wrapped as a gift with your name on it.
See, Gracie?
I only went with your husband to keep him from making a mistake. He wanted to buy you a chemise.
Oh, that would have been a mistake. We have no room for a pet.
Well, anyway, Gracie, you owe Miss Emery an apology.
Oh, well, I apologize, Miss Emery. I thought you were trying to steal my husband.
Oh, I assure you I would never do that.
Well, don't smile. Any woman would steal a man as handsome as George.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
Now, it's nothing to snicker about. Just look at that physique.
I am looking at it.
Now stop that! Have you ever seen shoulders like that?
No, I never have.
Neither have I. He's terribly strong.
Girl.
Yes, he is. Oh, stop laughing. He is. He's loaded with sex appeal.
Okay. Break it up. All right, that's enough now. This day has been too much for me. I'm going in the den and get some rest.
Hello, Daddy.
Oh, no! Happy anniversary, Gracie.
Oh, same to you, George. And thanks for the lingerie. It's beautiful.
Did you enjoy dancing at Sarah?
Oh, yes. What was that dance you did?
Well, I found out that Charleston was old-fashioned, so I did some up-to-date stuff. That was the varsity drag. Did you like it?
Oh, yes. But next time, try a little more varsity and a little less drag.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Toby Reed, Mary Lee Robb, Dick Crenna, Ernie Whitman, Harry Lubin and the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie.
As we look in at the Burns home today, George is out working in the front yard. Gracie is in the kitchen talking with her teenage neighbor, Emily Vanderlip.
I'm sorry to hear you've quarreled with your boyfriend, Emily. What caused it?
I caught Harold looking at another girl.
Oh.
Did your husband do things like that when you were dating him?
Oh, no. George never looked at another woman. When a pretty girl passed him on the street, he even closed one eye.
Well, Harold is much weaker.
And you two are pretty serious about each other, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Harold asked me to change my name to his.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Harold's no name for a girl.
I meant he asked me to marry him. And I want to. So when I see him, I'll beg him to make up with me.
You will?
Yes, I'll crawl to him on my knees and ask him to forgive me.
Now, wait a minute, Emily. When you and Harold get married, you want it to be a success, don't you?
Of course I do.
Well, then you've got to teach him right now that the woman is the boss. That's the only way you can have a happy marriage.
But I thought this was a man's world.
It is a man's world. But you don't want your marriage in the same mess the world is in, do you?
No, I guess I don't. Are you the boss in your house?
Well, certainly. That's why George and I are so happily married. I taught him on our wedding day that the wife gives the orders and the husband obeys them.
Well, how did you do it?
Well, now here's how it happened. We were on a train bound for Niagara Falls to spend our honeymoon. We were cuddling in our compartment, and George...
Wow. Nobody can kiss like you can, you little bundle of dynamite.
Oh, thank you, Boopsy boy.
Come in.
Excuse me, honeymooners, but dinner's now being served in the diner.
Okay, Porter.
My, what a beautiful bride.
Oh, thank you.
You're a lucky man, Mr. Burns. She's put it in Greta Garbo.
Oh, I'm not really prettier than Garbo. I just look prettier.
I'll reserve a table for you folks.
Thanks, Porter. Here's a tip.
5 cents. Thank you, sir.
I'll be ready in a second, honey. I'll just shave and dab on some witch hazel.
Oh, no, don't use witch hazel, George. Use that cologne Mother gave you.
I'd rather use witch hazel.
But, sweetheart, the cologne will remind you of my mother.
I'll use witch hazel.
George, you use that cologne or I'll get off this train and never see you again.
No, Gracie. Please. I couldn't stand it.
Well, what about Mother's cologne?
I'll use it. I'll splash it all over me. I'll bathe in it. Just promise that you won't leave me.
Mm-hmm. Has this taught you who's the boss?
Oh, yes. Forgive me this time, and I'll be your slave for life.
All right. Now, you've learned your lesson. Get up off your knees.
Thank you. You're good, Gracie. Good.
Gee, Mrs. Burns, you sure did teach him who was boss, all right. And right on your wedding day, too.
Well, that's the time to start training a husband, Emily. When he says I do, let that be his last decision. Just remember the motto of a successful marriage is ladies first. First in war, first in peace, and first in the bathroom in the morning.
Well, tell me some more about how to train Harold.
All right. Now, always remember that women command and men obey.
Meantime, George's work in the front yard is interrupted by a visit from Harold.
Mr. Burns, I've been to Emily's house, but I can't find Emily. I've looked everywhere for Emily. I've got to find Emily. Have you seen Emily?
Who are you looking for, kid?
Oh, didn't I mention it? Emily.
Oh, Emily, yes.
We had a quarrel this morning, and I want to find her and beg her to make up with me.
You do?
Yes. I'll crawl to her on my knees and ask her to forgive me.
No, wait a minute. You and Emily plan to get married, don't you?
Of course.
Well, then you'd better teach her right now that the man is the boss. That's the only way a marriage can be a success.
Really?
Sure. That's why Mrs. Burns and I have been so happy. I taught Gracie on our wedding day that the husband gives the orders and the wife obeys them.
How did you do it?
Well, here's how it happened. We were on a train bound for Niagara Falls to spend our honeymoon. We were cuddling in our compartment, and Gracie said...
Wow, nobody can kiss like you, you little bundle of dynamite.
Thank you, Boopsie girl. Come in.
Excuse me, honeymooners, but dinner's now being served in the diner.
Okay, Porter.
My, what a handsome groom.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're a lucky woman, Miss Burns. He's built like Johnny Weissmuller.
Oh, pooh to Johnny Weissmuller. My husband's got more chest below his belt than he's got altogether.
She loves me.
I'll reserve a table for you folks.
Thanks, Porter. Here's the tip.
$5. Thank you, sir.
I'll be ready in a second, honey. I'll just shave and dab on some witch hazel.
Oh, don't use witch hazel, George. Use the cologne Mother gave you.
I'd rather use witch hazel.
But, sweetheart, the cologne will remind you of my mother.
And so will the witch and witch hazel.
Now, just for that, I'll throw your witch hazel out the window.
If you do, I'll get off this train and never see you again.
Oh, no, George, please. Please, I couldn't stand it.
What about the witch hazel?
Oh, use it. Splash it all over yourself. Bathe in it. Just promise that you won't leave me.
Has this taught you who's the boss?
Oh, yes. Forgive me this time, and I'll be your slave for life.
All right. You've learned your lesson. Now get up off your knees.
Oh, thank you. You're good, George. Good.
Gee, Mr. Burns, you showed her who was boss right on your wedding day, didn't you?
You betcha, kid. That was 15 years ago, and I'm still wearing the pants.
That coat must be the same one, too.
I mean, I'm the boss. A man has always got to be the boss.
He has?
Sure. You see, kid, there are two sexes, the weaker sex and the stronger sex. You and I belong to the stronger sex.
We do?
Sure.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Nevertheless, it's true. So just remember what I've told you. Husbands give the orders.
You mean if you walked into the house right now and commanded your wife to do something like bake a pie, she'd do it?
Certainly.
Gee, can I see how it works?
Well, some other time, Harold. I'm pretty busy right now, and besides, I don't think Gracie's home.
Yes, she is. I saw her on the back porch emptying out the dishwater.
Are you sure it was Gracie?
Yes, sir. The dishes were still in it.
That was Gracie, all right. Okay, come around to the back, and I'll show you how to be the boss.
So, if you want to be happily married, Emily, follow my system. I've trained George to obey.
You mean if he walked in the house right now, he'd eat out of your hand?
He'd have to. I threw away the dishes.
I mean, if you ordered him to do something, like scrub the floor, would he obey?
Well, certainly.
Gee, could I see you do it?
Well, I'm pretty busy right now, Emily. And besides, I don't think George is home.
Oh, yes, he is. I saw him out front putting snail bait on the lawn.
Oh, that was George, all right. He has to use bait. The snails outrun him.
Oh, look, here he comes to the back door. Now you can show me how you command him and he obeys.
All right.
Gracie.
George.
Make a pie.
Scrub the floor.
Huh?
Huh?
The boss has given an order.
I know. Get busy.
But I'm the boss. You're embarrassing me before Emily and Harold.
Well, they can embarrass you later. Now, scrub that floor.
I'll drink cyanide before I scrub this floor.
Drunk or sober, you'll scrub it.
I will not.
You will.
Won't.
Will.
Won't.
Gee, this looks like a stalemate.
No, he's not stale. He's just stubborn. But I'll break him down.
Oh, no, you won't.
Will.
Won't.
Will.
Won't.
My, Mr. and Mrs. Burns had quite a fight about who's the boss, didn't they?
Yeah, Mr. Burns went in the den and slammed the door.
And Mrs. Burns is upstairs packing to go home with her mother.
And here we are, all alone. Do you care which one of us is boss, Emily? Me either. But we've got to get them to make up.
You're right. I'll go talk to Mrs. Burns, and you go in the den and talk to Mr. Burns.
Okay. Can I have a kiss first?
Uh-huh. Well, go on in the den, Harold.
I'll go as soon as I get my toes uncurled. So you'd better make up with her, Mr. Burns. She's going home to her mother.
That's an old gag, Harold. All wives use it. They head for the door and expect you to stop them. All you have to do is keep your nerve and they back down.
Here she comes now, and she's carrying her bag. Please make up with her.
Look, kid, I'm giving you a free lesson on how to handle a woman. Now, just watch. She'll crack.
Well, goodbye, George. I'm going home to Mother.
Goodbye, Gracie.
Now, watch, Emily. You'll stop me before I get to the door. I'm walking to the door, George. I'm almost there. I'm there.
Goodbye.
My hand is on the doorknob. I'm turning it. The door is opening.
It usually does when you turn the knob.
One hand is outside.
Would you like to try for two?
Here I go. One gorgeous, shapely leg is already through the door. You'll never see it again.
So long, leg.
One soft, white, alluring shoulder is disappearing.
See you later, shoulder.
Here goes the rest of my voluptuous, irresistible body.
Bye-bye, body.
Well, come on, Emily.
Holy smoke. She actually left.
That was very interesting, Mr. Burns. When do I get the next lesson?
Oh, quiet.
Mr. Burns, Emily called me, and she said that your wife
Look,
is...
kid, I'm not worried about my wife. I'm the boss. She'll come back.
But she's been gone for an hour.
Who cares how long she's been gone? Besides, it's only been 54 minutes and 39 seconds.
You're not worried?
Of course I'm not worried.
That's good. Would you like to bite my nails for a while? Yours are all gone.
Just a habit. Stop talking about my wife.
Just thought you might like to know she didn't go home to her mother. She's at Emily's.
She is? Well, run over and see what she's doing. Not that I care. Not the least bit worried about her.
Yes, sir. I'll go as soon as you let go of my hand.
Oh, excuse me. Hope I didn't bite your nails too close.
Look, Mrs. Burns, here comes Harold up the walk.
Oh, I'll bet George sent him over here to spy on me. Well, I won't let him see how much I miss George. I'll make him think I was having a wonderful time. Let him in, Emily, and I'll pretend to be talking on the phone. You back up whatever I say.
Okay, Mrs. Burns. Hello, Harold.
Hello, Emily. Hello, Mrs. Burns.
Shh. What did you say, Clark?
Who's Clark?
Shh. What did you say, Clark Gable?
She's talking to Clark Gable.
Oh.
No, Clark. I can't go dancing with you tonight. No, I've already promised to go out with Cornell Wilde and Charles Boyer. Oh, and I couldn't disappoint Corny and Chuck.
She knows them very intimately.
Oh.
What's that, Clark? You going to shoot yourself? Oh, now, don't be silly. Put that gun down. Clark. He's the third one today. Oh, I'm getting such an earache. My, what a gay, mad life this is. Oh, hello, Harold. What do you want?
Well, Mr. Burns sent me over.
Mr. Burns, who's he?
Gosh, don't you remember your husband?
Oh, him. Oh, I forgot all about him because I'm having such a gay, mad time. Oh, dear, there's that gay, mad telephone again.
I didn't hear anything.
It must be one of my lovers. We have a secret ring that nobody else can hear. Hello? Why, Diamond Jim Brady, how are you? No, you can't drink champagne out of my slipper tonight. No, I always catch cold when my feet are damp. Goodbye. So gay, so mad.
Mrs. Burns, Diamond Jim Brady is dead.
Really? Well, wasn't it sweet of him to call me just before he went?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you better be running along, Harold. I have so many gay, mad things to do. Tuscanini and I are going bowling tonight in Hollywood Bowl.
Yes, she's really terribly busy.
Oh, indeed I am. Later on, I have a date with a very wealthy man from India. You know, an Indian prince.
Raja.
Wilco.
Well, I guess I'd better be getting back to Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, who's he?
He's your husband.
Oh, him. Well, tell him I can't give up this life. It's too gay, too mad.
Yes, ma'am. Goodbye, Emily.
Goodbye, Harold.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burns.
Well, Harold, did you spy on Gracie?
Yes, sir. I watched her for quite a while.
How is she?
She's miserable.
Uh-huh.
She tried to pretend that she was gay, but I, if you'll pardon the expression, could see right through her.
I told you men were the stronger sex. Women can't live without us, kid. She'll come crawling back to me just as sure as my...
Oh, there's someone at the door now.
That's Gracie. Afraid to come in without my permission. Well, I'll be generous. Come in, sweetheart.
Thank you, honey.
Bill.
Yeah. Why this sudden affection?
I took you for my wife.
Not that I remember.
I thought you were Gracie, comedian. You know what I meant. Harold, this is Bill Goodwin, Bob Hope's understudy.
Oh, yes, sir. I recognize Mr. Goodwin. When I was a Boy Scout, I wore his picture on my sleeve.
Really, kid?
Yes, sir. That showed I belonged to the Wolf Patrol. Mr. Burns, would you like me to go back and spy on Mrs. Burns some more?
Yeah, do that, Harold. I'll see you later.
Now, just a minute. What's all this about spying on Gracie?
Oh, we had a little argument. Neither of us would give in, so she walked out on me. She's a vandalist.
Well, why don't you go get her? Ask her to come back.
I don't want to lose face.
Not even that one?
Don't worry, she'll come back. She'll realize what a good husband I am.
Yes, George, I must say you have been true to your marriage vows.
You bet.
The preacher said, will you take this woman? And you've taken her for plenty.
Forget it, comic.
Believe me, George, you better get Gracie back home. Without her, you're at the awkward age.
Awkward age?
Oh, too young for the old actor's home and too old to put taps on your shoes again.
I felt fine until you came in. Maybe I better call her on the phone and ask her to come back.
Call her on the phone? George, haven't you got any romance? Rush over there, put your arm around her, and give her what her lips are yearning for.
You're right. I'm going to give her a kiss.
George, I'm trying to get her back. Stop fighting me. If you want to help, tell Gracie how beautiful she is. Flatter her. Tell her she's got hair like spun gold, lips like rubies.
Leave it to me. I'll go ask her to come back.
Well, don't just ask her. Women love the caveman approach. She should be swept off her feet and carried back in a pair of strong, manly arms.
Yeah.
So you stay here and I'll go do it.
I sure.
Hello, Gracie. I just left George.
We're in the same boat, so did I.
I mean, I was just talking to him over at your house. He's ready to eat crow.
Well, that's fine. I'm crying my eyes out, and he's having a feast.
Oh, I mean he's ready to get down on his knees.
I'm miserable, and he's going to shoot craps.
No, Gracie, George is all set to make up.
My heart's breaking, and he's powdering his face.
There must be some way to put this across. Look, Gracie, you and George had a quarrel. He's sorry. He's ready to give in.
Oh, he's ready to give in.
That's it. He wants to throw in the sponge.
Ha! I'm suffering, and he's splashing around in the tub.
Should have quit when I was ahead. Well, anyway, Gracie, George wants you back. He's been stubborn and obstinate, but now he's broken down.
He is not. He's a fine figure of a man.
But
don't you insult him, you false friend. I love him. I'm going back to him where I belong. And you can't talk me out of it either. And I'll tell him what a traitor you are, you Benedict Canyon.
Now I know why George looks the way he does.
Oh, George, it's so wonderful to be back together again.
It sure is. I'm so happy that I want you to buy a present for yourself. Here's $20 for that new purse you want.
Oh, gee, making up a quarrel is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, but we'll never quarrel again, will we?
Never.
I was to blame. It was all my fault.
No, Judge, it was my fault.
No, Gracie. It was my fault.
George Burns, it was my fault.
Okay, honey. It was your fault.
Oh, so I'm just a troublemaker, huh?
Gracie, you're starting another quarrel.
I know. I need gloves to go with that purse.
Okay, here's another 10.
Ah, thank you.
Glad to do it. Right now, I'm the happiest person in the world.
I know, Judge. I'm the happiest person in the world.
No, Gracie, I'm the Oh, no, not again.
No hat, huh?
No hat, no.
Well, I love you anyway, darling.
I'm a success again.
George, this whole thing has taught us a very valuable lesson. In a happy marriage, neither person should be the boss.
That's right.
It's 50-50, give and take. When I ordered you to scrub the floor, you wouldn't do it. And when you commanded me to bake a pie, I wouldn't do it.
That's right, but when you asked me real sweetly to scrub the floor, I did it.
Well, sure, and that pie you baked was good, too.
Glad you like it.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With yours truly, Toby Reed, B. Benaderet, Hans Conried, Pat McGee, and Doris Singleton, Harry Lubin, the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie.
Well, it's Thanksgiving morning as we look in at the Burns home, but that's not the subject of discussion between George and Gracie. It seems that George is going to be best man at a friend's wedding, and he's telling Gracie all about it.
It's Bob Webster who's getting married, Gracie.
Bob Webster?
Yeah, you remember the Webster boys. We had them here for dinner one night.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Bob is the one who spilled the gravy on the tablecloth's brother.
Yeah, that's him. Well, Bob is finally going to settle down and marry himself a wife.
Well, wouldn't it be better if he married a single girl?
She is single.
Oh, good. Do I know her?
I don't think so. She's marrying Carol.
Oh, I thought she was marrying Bob Webster. Who's Bob marrying?
Marrying Carol.
He's marrying the same person?
No. Look.
Oh, then who's he marrying?
Marrying Carol.
Well, George, for a best man, you certainly are mixed up.
Gracie, this Marion is spelled M-A-R-I-A-N. Now do you understand?
Well, of course I understand. I'm no Dumbo.
Good. The bride is marrying Carol.
All right. Now, who's the groom marrying?
Oh, nuts.
Oh, nuts. It's an Irish girl, huh?
Yes, Molly O'Nuts. Well, anyway, this is the first time I've ever been best man. How do you think I should dress?
Oh, the usual way. First, put on your underwear, then...
I don't mean that. I mean, how should I dress at the wedding?
Oh, I wouldn't. I dressed here.
Well, forget the whole thing. I'll go to the wedding in a tuxedo.
Well, it's only a couple of blocks. Why don't you walk?
Well, a tuxedo is that funny black suit I wore when we got married.
Oh, have you still got that suit?
Well, sure.
You must owe a lot of rent on it by now.
About $30,000. Well, now I'm going out to borrow some studs. But first I better put this wedding ring where it will be safe.
Oh, what a beautiful ring. It's set with diamonds and everything.
Yeah, Bob was so nervous he asked me to keep it.
Oh, let me wear it until the wedding tomorrow.
Oh, no. You might lose it. Besides, you've got a wedding ring.
Oh, but this one is so beautiful.
Gracie, a wedding ring is just a symbol. It doesn't matter if it's solid brass.
Well, I know. I love my ring. But this one is so exquisite. I won't lose it. I've never lost mine.
Honey, this ring cost $1,000. Yours cost $5.
No, George, no. My ring cost $10.
No, I paid $5 for it.
Are you sure?
Well, certainly.
Well, then you forgot to give me my change.
I'll owe it to you. And Bob's ring goes right in this drawer. And I want it to stay there. Now I gotta find some tuxedo studs and get the suit pressed.
Oh, there's Blanche Morton at the back door. Come in, Blanche.
Hello, folks. Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, same to you, Blanche.
Say, Gracie, I'm having a bunch in for dinner. I wonder if I could borrow that wonderful little pot of yours that cooks things so fast.
Well, certainly. Go along with it, George.
No, I mean your Presto cooker.
Oh, that. Oh, sure. I'll be finished with it in a few minutes.
Say, Blanche, has Harry got some tuxedo studs I can borrow?
Oh, I think so.
I'm best man at Bob Webster's wedding tomorrow.
Really? Who's Bob marrying?
Marrying Carol.
No, George, you're mixed up again. He's marrying Molly O'Nuts.
Now, let's not get back into that routine. I'll run over and get the studs from Harry.
How's your Thanksgiving dinner coming along, Gracie?
Oh, just fine, Blanche. I've made pumpkin pie, chestnut dressing, and see, I've got the oven turned to 350 degrees. That's perfect for browning a turkey. That reminds me, I better look at it. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
You burnt the turkey?
No, I forgot to get one.
Fine, and I'll bet George is so hungry he could eat the table leaves.
Well, quick, put him in the oven.
I was only kidding, Gracie. You gotta have a turkey.
But, Blanche, the markets are all closed. How will I get one?
Drive out to the country and buy one from a farmer.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Sure. What do you want, a tom turkey?
Tom turkey, Sam turkey. Who cares what it is? I'm going to feed him to George, not introduce him. You help help yourself to the cooker. I'll head for the country.
All right.
Oh, I wonder if I dare. Yes, I'll wear it. Blanche, isn't this a beautiful wedding ring?
Oh, it's magnificent. Oh, you lucky girl.
Now, it's not mine. It belongs to a girl Bob Webster's going to marry.
Oh, nuts.
Yeah, that's right, Molly. George told me not to wear it, but I'm going to anyhow.
Gracie, are you the kind of wife who disobeys her husband?
Well, sure, I'm normal. See you later, Blanche.
Well, there they are, ma'am. I've got about 20 turkeys left. I'm selling them for 60 cents a pound.
Well, I guess I'll have to pay it. My husband insists on turkey, but it does seem high.
It costs money to feed an old gobbler.
Yes, especially when he insists on turkey.
Want me to pick one out for you?
Oh, no. You might try to fool me. I'll pick them out myself. I'm an expert. I know all about turkeys from their manes to their withers.
Yeah, I can tell you're an expert, all right. See one you want?
Oh, I see one I don't want. That turkey nearest the fence. It's got flat feet.
Yep. Besides, it's a duck.
Well, I want a turkey. Oh, there's a cute little baby one.
He'll be a fine bird when he grows up. He's milk-fed.
Oh, now there you go, trying to fool me. That little turkey couldn't be milk-fed. He's too short to reach a cow's faucet.
I'm sorry I tried to fool you.
Well, I better pick out a turkey. Eeny, meeny, miny. Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter?
The wedding ring, it's gone. It must have slipped off my finger here in the turkey pen.
I don't see nothing of it.
Oh, if that ring's gone, my husband will murder me. It's a $1,000 wedding ring.
I'll bet I know what's happened. One of them turkeys took it.
Well, quick, which one of them is planning to get married?
Lady, I mean one of them turkeys swallowed it.
Oh, that's terrible. You see, the ring isn't mine. My husband had it for another woman.
My, you Hollywood folks.
Oh, quick, get it out of the turkey.
Well, I don't know which one swallowed it.
Oh, I wish it'd been my wedding ring. We'd know the turkey in a minute. He'd turn green. Oh, but you've got to get it.
Well, I can't kill all them turkeys. It's too late to sell them.
Well, I don't want you to kill them. Just turn them inside out and shake them.
Lady, the only way to find that ring is for you to buy these turkeys and let me kill them.
No, sir. I can't let 19 innocent turkeys die just because one of them is a thief. I'll take them home with me and find the guilty one somehow.
Well, just as you say, ma'am.
But how will I get all these turkeys to town?
I'll truck them in.
Well, that's a long way to dance. Well, then you look healthy. Here's my address. Put them on the back porch.
Gracie, I'm home. Where are you? Huh. Guess she's out in the kitchen. Hey, Gracie, I got the tuxedo studs. No, not here either. Maybe she's on the back porch. Holy smoke. Her mother is here for Thanksgiving. No, it couldn't be her mother. She talks louder than that. I'll have another look. Who's out there?
No one but us, turkey.
Gracie, come in the house. I want to talk to you. What goes on here? There must be a dozen turkeys on our back porch.
Oh, now don't exaggerate, dear. There are only 20.
Well, why in the world did you buy 20 turkeys?
Why?
Yeah, why?
You see, when I left the farm, I only had 2 turkeys, but they happened to be male and female, and, well, you know turkeys. Now we've got 20.
That's rabbits.
No, they're turkeys. Look again.
I mean, turkeys can't multiply like rabbits. Turkeys lay eggs.
Well, there's something rabbits can't do, so they're even.
Gracie, stop being silly. Why did you buy 20 turkeys?
Oh, all right. I guess I'll have to tell you the truth.
Well, I should hope so. It's enough turkeys to fill the Salvation Army baskets.
You guessed it.
Huh?
Those turkeys are for the Salvation Army. They were donated by a kind farmer.
Oh, well, thanks for telling the truth.
Well, thanks for thinking of it. Now, excuse me, dear, I have to run out and borrow some fishing tackle.
You going fishing? Where?
Oh, if I told you, you'd say I was crazy.
I'll take a chance. Where are you going fishing?
Inside those turkeys.
You're crazy.
See, I told you.
But, Gracie...
Goodbye, dear.
Oh, what a little screwball. Well, I'll put a stop to this foolishness. I'll call the Salvation Army and tell them to come and pick up their turkeys.
What? You let the Salvation Army take those turkeys?
Well, certainly. They have to dress them and send them out.
They may have to dress 19 of them, but one of those turkeys can afford the best tailor in town.
What?
I'll see you later, dear.
What are you talking about?
Is this the Salvation Army headquarters?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still have the turkeys you got from Mr. Burns?
Why, yes.
Oh, thank goodness. He wants them back right away.
You mean he's an Indian giver?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. He gave you the turkeys by mistake. He meant to give you Indians.
Huh?
Well, you see, my husband was too proud to tell you, but our children are starving, and that's why we've got to have those turkeys back.
All 20 of them?
Yes.
But, Mrs. Burns, 20 turkeys will feed 200 children.
So, 4 of my kids will go hungry.
It's impossible for a woman to have 204 children.
Well, I have them the easy way. 102 sets of twins.
102 sets of twins.
Well, my husband makes bookends, and it's affected his whole life.
Mrs. Burns, I'm afraid this is unbelievable.
You don't believe my husband makes bookends, huh?
I don't believe any of it.
Oh, well, all right, then I'll tell you the truth. One of those turkeys has a $1,000 ring inside of it.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. No ring was found when those turkeys were cleaned.
Well, it must have been there. What cleaner did you send them to?
We cleaned them ourselves, and there was no ring in... Wait a moment. There was a baby turkey in the flock, too small to kill. He's here in the back room. Maybe he swallowed the ring.
Oh, that cute little baby. Oh, that baby couldn't be a juvenile delinquent. I'm sure he didn't swallow the ring. Sounds like I was wrong.
Shall we kill him and recover the ring?
Oh, no. He's just a baby, and an orphan, too. You've already killed his mother and father and all his aunts and uncles. Oh, don't you worry, little turkey. Gracie will protect you. I'll take him home with me.
But, Mrs. Burns, that turkey has a $1,000 ring inside of him. How will you get it?
Well, I'll think of something. Come on, you little sport knocks with feathers.
I told you not to touch that ring. Now it's inside this silly turkey.
Oh, please, George. He didn't know what he was doing. He's just a baby, an orphan.
Orphan schmorphin. Gonna chop his head off, cut him open, and take him apart.
But, George, he might not recover from a thing like that.
So he doesn't recover. Now give him here.
No, now wait. George, we're not absolutely positive he swallowed the ring. Let's make sure before we do anything.
How?
Well, let's take him to a doctor and have him x-rayed.
I'm not going to a doctor's office just to have a turkey x-rayed.
Well, all right. While we're there, he can take out your appendix.
Now give me the turkey.
No, George, no. You may be hurting an innocent baby. We'll take him to the doctor and have him x-rayed.
Oh, no, we won't.
Oh, yes, we will.
Oh, no, we won't.
Here's the doctor's office, George. You stay in here in the waiting room with the turkey. I'll go see if the doctor's busy.
Make it snappy. Oh, quiet.
Come in.
Are you the doctor?
Yes, I'm sorry my receptionist isn't here today, but I always come to the office on Thanksgiving. Do a tremendous bicarbonate business.
Well, I want you to take an x-ray.
Very well. Step behind that screen and remove your clothes, please.
All right, doctor, but can I peek over the screen while you x-ray the patient?
You're not the patient?
Oh, no. My husband has him outside. We think he swallowed a ring.
Oh, a baby.
Yes. He's only about 2 weeks old.
Is he in any pain?
Oh, no. He's very lively. On the way here, he jumped out of the car, and my husband chased him for a block.
And he's only 2 weeks old?
Mm-hmm. But very agile. We finally caught him on top of the mailbox.
This promises to be a remarkable case. How did he happen to swallow this ring?
Well, the ring fell on the ground, and I think he ate it by mistake when he snapped at a grasshopper.
You allow him to eat grasshoppers? What kind of a mother are you?
Oh, I'm not his mother. He's an orphan. His mother and father were killed by the Salvation Army.
I'm a bit confused. Suppose you just bring the patient in.
All right. I hope you can take the x-ray through his feathers.
The baby has feathers?
Well, certainly all turkeys do.
The patient is a turkey?
Yes. Now I'll bring him in for x-ray.
Madam, I am not a veterinarian.
Well, who cares if you eat meat? Just x-ray the patient.
I'll make a bargain with you. I'll x-ray your turkey if you'll will your brain to medical science.
All right, if you can't get Einstein. Imagine you thinking the turkey was a baby.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should have realized that a 2-week-old baby wouldn't snap at grasshoppers.
Well, of course not. My brother Willie didn't start until he was a grown man.
For this, I opened my office.
Oh, all right, George. Bring the turkey in.
There he is, Doctor. Gosh, I feel silly. You must think I'm the world's prize idiot.
No, there's already been a winner.
Now, quiet, baby. You're going to be x-rayed to see if you swallow the ring.
I just put him behind the fluoroscope here.
Oh, my goodness. I don't see the ring, but he certainly has swallowed a lot of bones.
You are looking at his skeleton. Wait, I see it. The ring is in his esophagus.
Oh, now, Doctor, I'm over 21. You can say stomach in front of me.
It's not in the bird's stomach. It's lodged halfway down its throat.
Can we get it without killing him?
Not unless he coughs it up. And turkeys rarely cough.
Then I'll have to kill him. Come on, Gracie.
Oh, no, George, please. Give him a chance.
But suppose he never coughs up the ring. I'll have to cough up $1,000.
Oh, I thought you kept your money in the bank.
Come on.
Well, come on, George. Blow some more smoke in the turkey's face. It'll make him cough.
This is silly.
Well, try once more. A great big puff. There he coughs.
He didn't cough. I coughed.
Oh, why? You didn't swallow the ring.
I swallowed some smoke.
Oh. Well, we don't need that. You can keep it.
Well, thanks. Come in.
Well, hi, Burnses. What's doing?
Oh, hello, No, Bill. George is blowing smoke at the turkey.
George, you have to kill it before you smoke it.
I'm not smoking the turkey.
Now, he's smoking a cigar.
I'm trying to get a wedding ring out of this turkey.
Well, George, I don't think you two will be happy together.
Bill.
But if you do make a go of it, I hope your kids look like the turkey.
If you'll be quiet a minute, I'll explain this thing.
Okay.
It's a fascinating story. You see, there's a big wedding tomorrow, and I've been picked as the best man.
Well, right away, it's fascinating.
Relax, Tom. Bob Webster is getting married, and he gave me a wedding ring to keep for him.
Bob Webster, huh? Who's he marrying?
Marrying Carol.
Oh, Judge, you still haven't got it straight. He's marrying that Irish girl.
Oh, quiet.
I thought it was so nuts.
Well, anyway, Bill, the ring cost $1,000. Gracie dropped it, and this turkey swallowed it.
And now George wants to kill the little defenseless turkey.
Well, I've heard enough of this. I want that ring, and it's just too bad for this turkey. I'm going to take the axe and let him have it.
Oh, don't let him have it, George. He'll beat your brains out.
I'm going out and sharpen the axe, and if that turkey hasn't coughed up that ring in 30 minutes, he's through.
Oh, I wish I had never seen Molly O'Quiet's wedding ring.
Gracie, her name is Marion Carroll, and she's a very sweet girl. I know her.
You mean she's tender-hearted?
Oh, yeah. She cried like a baby when she found out she couldn't marry me.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I think I can save this turkey. Call her and get her over here right away. So that's the situation, Marion. Your ring is inside this darling little turkey, and I know you wouldn't want him killed.
Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Burns, but I've got to have my wedding ring.
Well, you can have it, but the turkey goes with it.
Well, suppose people want to see the ring.
Show them an X-ray.
But I can't get married without a ring.
Oh, sure you can. Just change the ceremony a little bit. The groom says, with this turkey I thee wed.
Now, look, I've got to have my wedding ring. I can't go on a honeymoon without it.
So the turkey goes with you. He'll make a wonderful chaperone.
Well, now, why would I need a chaperone on my honeymoon?
Well, husbands get awfully fresh. George even tried to kiss me.
Oh, Mrs. Burns, I'd be embarrassed taking a turkey on my honeymoon.
Well, then wrap it up in a blanket and say it's your baby.
I don't believe that would save embarrassment.
Well, don't forget the turkey might cough up the ring.
Well, what would make a turkey cough?
Well, now look, get this picture. The three of you are on your honeymoon. The turkey has been out for a walk, and he comes back unexpectedly and catches you and your husband holding hands. Naturally, he wants to let you know he's there, so he gives a little cough. Bingo, out pops the ring.
Mrs. Burns, I've heard enough.
Oh, really convinced you, huh?
No. I'm being married in a few hours, and I want my ring, turkey or no turkey.
Well, look, Marion, I'll make a bargain with you. Spare this turkey's life, and I'll see that you get the thrill supreme at your wedding.
What's that?
My husband will sing. His romantic voice is perfect for a wedding.
But
when George sings, people think they're at a wedding whether they are or not. The minute he opens his mouth, they start throwing old shoes.
Oh, no. Really, Mrs. Burns?
Well, Gracie, time's up. I've come for the turkey.
Hello, Mr. Burns.
Oh, hello, Marion.
George, Marion wants you to sing at her wedding. Give her a sample of your orange blossom baritone.
Oh, but Mr. Burns,
Now, Marion, I'll be glad to do it. Get a load of this. I love you truly, truly, dear. Life with its sorrow. Life with its tears.
The turkey is choking.
Oh, look, he called up my wedding ring.
Oh, how wonderful.
I'll take it with me just for the sake. Goodbye, Mrs. Burns.
Goodbye, Marion. Well, George, she's gone.
Oh, do I get the job?
Yes, dear. Anytime a turkey swallows a wedding ring, we'll call on you.
Well, I'm a success.